just a point to note that this week's movie makes reference to people struggling to have children and adoption. So if that's not for you, you might want to give this one a miss, and we'll see you next time.
A wee disclaimer here, we're not film experts. We're doing this for fun and to try and shine a light on films which are seen as rotten on movie review aggregator website, Rotten Tomatoes, and to poke fun at them as well. It's a chance to highlight that the critical consensus isn't always everything.
We'd also like to remind everyone that we're about to go over all the film's details, including the plot. So there will be spoilers. Also, we just want to mention it's okay to disagree with our opinion. If you do, you can tell us and become part of the discussion. With that in mind, thanks for joining us and enjoy.
Hello, welcome to Rank Rotten, a Rotten Movies podcast with me, Mikey.
And me, Kat.
We're the podcast that looks at movies which are rotten on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep, simple as that.
That's it. And, you know, it's a really interesting thing that I'm enjoying this. This is our sort of episode before we have a wee break. Mm-hmm. It's good to look back at the 12 movies we've done after this one, right? Mm-hmm. And see that, you know, not all of them are stinkers. And
I know for a fact that some people have listened to episodes and been shocked that we're covering the movies we're covering.
Aye. I think it was, what do you mean, Ugly is Rotten? I think I had that.
Yeah, I've had that a couple of times. Lake Placid as well.
Aye. So I've also equally right with Lake Placid, right? I've had people that are like, yeah, that is a rotten film, but I love it. Like, folk do say that, and you know, I like it when folk say that. Are quite open about the fact they like something that isn't stellar, you know what I mean?
100%, and that's exactly why we're doing this.
Oh, so this morning, Kat got up and just before breakfast, you chucked the TV on and Madame Web was on.
Yeah.
This is on Sky Thing just now, whatever it's called now, and it was on there, and Kat was watching it, and I was like, Ken something, Kat, I do, and I said this back a while ago this season, I actually do have a kind of fondness for it. I think it's actually class.
Yeah, I do have a bit of a soft spot because it's the first movie we covered.
It's dire, like.
Oh, it's terrible.
But I still kind of liked it. I can't help it. I actually was thinking about introducing another category. Maybe not just now because we've not done it so far, but we can always do it retrospectively. But as if we liked the film or not. Not just if we thought it was rotten, fresh or rank rotten, but also if we liked it. Do you know? Because I think there's a button on Letterboxd you can press that's like. So even if you go, this film's a 2-star film, but I still liked it, you can hit the button. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's a really important factor, actually.
Yeah, it is, totally. So I think we can think about that.
To end this run of our podcast, and before we go into a break, we are having a 0% film.
Oh yeah, I actually forgot it was a 0% film. I've got a lot to say about this one, so...
Let's dive in.
I think so. Let's go into some details about Problem Child. So Problem Child came out on the 27th of June 1990. The runtime was an hour and 21 minutes, so it was pretty short. It was a wee short, yeah.
It is.
It felt like it was over quite quickly, actually. I think it's because it's so eventful.
Yeah.
It feels like it was over quite quickly.
A lot happens in that short amount of time.
Aye, totally. Oh, there's a rating here now, Kat. Have you added this in now?
We have. It's
That's
new.
That's a good idea, that. Because we'll have to do the two ratings right enough, aren't we? Well, across the pond and here, largely, right? So yeah, the rating was a PG-13 in the US and it was a PG here in the UK.
I think that makes sense for the film it is.
I thought the rating was higher. I thought it was going to be like a 12 when I watched it. I haven't watched it now. There's definitely stuff that wouldn't even be in the movie if it was made new. So
yeah, I would agree with that,
you know
actually.
What I mean? The budget was 11 million and it made 72.2 million at the box office, which, you know, kind of means that it did quite well, and that's why it got sequels. I think it got 2 sequels. So.
Yeah, I think there is 2 sequels, and that's quite a good return on your money.
Actually, that's a good. I think it's not a specific example here, but you know, I was actually looking into this the other day about the whole sort of budget versus actual earnings and what the money that's made, right? Mm-hmm. So I was reading an article about some of the movies that had lost the most money in the past decade, right? And Wish, the Disney movie, which is on our list, by the way, was one of them. Mm-hmm. Right, it lost a lot of money. It lost like 131 million.
Oh, wow.
Right? So its budget was like 200 million, but possibly 175 to 200 million, it says, right? Okay. Dollars. And its box office takings were 255 million, but it lost 131 million.
Yeah.
Because of marketing costs.
Of course, they don't add those on to that.
They don't add those on. And we've never really talked about it. And I was reading this article the other day and I was like, oh man, We should be like, we can't get the information. A lot of the information is given by like economics and people and like specialists in the field that analyse the data and then tell you this is how much money it lost. So it's not something you're just going to get on Wikipedia, but certainly we can only give you that, but it's something that we can at least mention and at least worth taking into account when you're looking at expenditure for making movies.
It's definitely a big factor.
Aye.
So I think when we had a look at Argyle, for example, that seemed to have a lot of marketing.
Aye.
So I think that probably...
We saw everywhere.
Yeah, it was really all over the place.
Aye.
So that probably had a big impact on the amount of profit it made, because they'd obviously spent a lot of extra money on the marketing. Yeah.
So I think that's definitely worth mentioning. Mentioning on Problem Child when it doesn't really relate to this movie, but I just because I read it like 2 days ago and I was like, right, what do I say something about that? I'll probably mention it again in future, especially if I find information about it, so I know when we cover Wish, like I know the numbers for that, so like, which I've just said, so like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but don't worry, I know all the words to all the songs, so you're fine. I've got you covered on that front.
But the songs are very catchy, so they're often on in the house, aren't they, or on our Disney playlist and that.
They're good songs. So the director of this film was Dennis Dugan.
Dennis Dugan!
I feel like he's the sort of person you would see down the social club. Dennis Dugan.
Social club?
Aye, like, you know, the miners.
What's the one we've got here? In
the
town?
Wire Mill?
No, the one in Musselburgh.
The Store Club?
Aye.
Yeah.
My dad's a member there.
I know.
He loves it.
If you're looking for Dennis Dugan, you'll find him in the Store Club. This film was written by Scott Alexander and Larry Karaszewski.
Do you know what, Kat? Karaszewski sounds pretty good, pretty close, I'd say.
Yeah, okay.
We actually have an S said in our name like that.
We do.
So we know how to pronounce that part at least.
Yeah. In combination with other sounds, though, a bit difficult.
And the W's a V sound.
Yeah.
So I think you've got it, aye.
The production studio is Imagine Entertainment.
Imagine.
And this isn't based on a book.
I don't know what that was. I'm so sorry. I just told you up. Then you go.
This isn't based on a book, but it is based on a few things. So we'll come back to that later.
Oh, look at that. We hook there.
This film has 2 taglines. The first one is Attila the Hun, Ivan the Terrible, Al Capone. They were all 7 once.
I like it.
I quite like it too.
I know, it's a lot. It's quite extra, but I quite like that.
It is. The second one I wasn't so keen on, which is he's so bad, even the nuns refused to keep him.
Yeah, that's just like a little part of the story.
Yeah,
really.
It's also quite sad.
It is sad because that's kind of what happens in the movie.
Yeah.
But when you word it like that, it's no funny, is it?
No. So I'm glad that the first one was the one that was on the poster.
To be fair, parts of this film weren't funny either, just because they were so... I was just blindsided a few times.
Yeah, there was a few shockers in there.
And I was like, this was 1990, no 1960.
Crazy.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I guess we'll probably talk about some of those points as we go.
I think they'll come up for sure.
The synopsis we have for this movie, actually taken from Netflix this time and not online, is a 7-year-old troublemaker wreaks havoc on the lives of his new parents, a patient, kind-hearted man, and his social ladder-climbing wife. And that's quite accurate, eh?
Yeah, I think that captures it in a nutshell. The tomatometer score is not a surprise this time, because we told you it got a 0% from the critics. That was very good.
Thanks.
You've missed your calling as Foley work.
What?
You've missed your calling as Foley work.
What's Foley?
It's like where they make sounds for audio dramas.
I thought you meant like, is that what that's called? That's cool, I didn't know that. I always thought like the guy for Police Academy that makes the noises.
Oh, right, yeah, I get
That's
that.
what I thought you meant. I was like, is his name Foley? And then I thought it Mick Foley. Got quite confused.
I can see why you went down that route.
Yeah, sorry.
But it's only because I know you so well.
Yep.
The popcorn meter gives this score a much more favourable 42%.
That's 42 more.
That is 42 more, yeah, and a lot higher than some of the other films we've covered.
Aye. The cinema score for this one was actually quite surprising. It was an A-.
I'm shocked at that.
How long's cinema score been gone for? Because we've done a couple of movies recently and they've been older and it's been there, and I'm like, how's that?
Yeah, when I use cinema score to try and find these scores, it seems to be quite patchy. Some have them, some don't.
I wonder if it's just it wasn't as popular, or actually it might have been going for a while, or it might be that these are screenings that have been modern.
Could well be.
But why the hell would you be screening Problem Child?
I was going to say, yeah, this isn't something you get a screening for.
I don't know. We'll look into that maybe, actually. Do you know, I actually looked up a little something about this movie, and generally about, the time it was made and stuff, and what, I was just curious. I know it was released by Universal Pictures, but basically what had happened was, this movie came out, and I think it was after the airing of a documentary in America, which I think this documentary was quite famous and a bit notorious, and it was called Child of Rage, and it was about a girl called Beth, and it's basically it was about this, it was an adopted girl, right? And she was like killing the family pets and stuff.
Oh,
And she tried to like kill her younger brother.
Oh, wow.
And so it was a really dark thing that happened. This girl was very disturbed that it transpired,
Yeah.
right? But then this film came out, and you're just like, oh, Syrian.
Yeah,
Because the documentary was apparently quite well aired and seen by many people in the States.
Yeah.
It is quite an awkward thing to bring out on the back of that.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? So that was, I think that's quite interesting.
I think it is. It definitely could have
You know.
impacted on the popularity of this film.
But I will say, that is quite dark. But then parts of this movie feel dark also, in my opinion.
I wholeheartedly agree.
It's very dark humour, but no even the sort of dark humour that is actually funny at times. Like,
yeah.
But it's dated, I think that's the problem. But we can talk about it as we go, but...
Yeah, there's definitely a few issues here that also could be associated with the kind of climate it was coming out in.
It's true, I've been referring to it as problematic child, quite honestly.
I think that's quite a good way of describing it.
Anyway, let's go into it. Anyway, it's quite an interesting story, and there's some good bits in there too. So let's get into Problem Child. The film started with, and we didn't always say this, but in this case it was actually worth saying, it was the old, very classic Universal logo, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Set the
plane in
expectations
that.
high.
It was. I know. I was like, oh man, it's like the wee plane going past, and it was very cool. And then the film starts basically like a bit of a horror film.
It does.
There's like a freaking like a building on the top of a hill or something. It's all very sort of cartoony, yeah.
Yeah, like there was the full moon with the clouds coming over it.
Yeah, I was like, are we watching The Addams Family?
Yeah, I would have much preferred that.
Aye, I was buzzing. We weren't watching The Addams Family.
We were not.
And then immediately the the monologue started, right? In my head I went, oh God, I remember his voice now. Ken?
It was very annoying.
Yeah, I mean, it's purposefully supposed to be annoying, I think.
Yeah.
But I remember hearing it, and I heard it the other day, and I was just like, oh my God.
It brought it all back.
Mad that, eh? And then I actually started to remember stuff as the movie went on.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
How old do you think you would be when you saw this film?
Probably like under 10, 8, maybe 7, maybe the same age as Junior in the movie.
That would be the irony.
But basically, you see the full moon, and it's like a stormy night, and it's like, the film's set in this sort of suburban community of Cold River.
Oh, so add another horror level on top.
I know, eh? Clear Rivers. No, we're joking. Junior is abandoned by his parents on the doorstep.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what this building was.
Yeah, I was like, that's what I thought it was the frickin' Addams Family's house.
Well, I thought it was an orphanage, but I think it's just a posh person's house.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because you see him go from family to family, which is just, to be honest, really sad, right?
It is really sad.
We see the basket sort of being abandoned on the doorstep, and then we start to see sort of Junior being passed between different families. The one part I can say about this, we had George Thorogood, Bad to the Bone, in the background.
Yes, we did.
And it's overused, but always appreciated by me. Because I'm like, George Thorogood's very good. And to be honest, it's the song that he's done that everybody kens. But he's done lots of stuff. It was kind of blues rock stuff, Ken.
Okay.
But yeah, but annoyingly, it's not the only time they used it in the bloody movie. They use it again later.
They clearly paid a lot of money for it.
And I was just like, oh, for goodness sake, Ken.
It's just hitting you over the head a wee bit.
It's not even like a reprise, Ken, like in a musical or something. It wasn't like that. It was
just using the same.
Using the same song again, and it was a bit lazy.
Yeah, it was.
But in one of the houses, we see Junior, and he's putting detergent in the cat's dinner.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my God, like he's poisoning the cat. But then in a very cartoony fashion, the cat then starts like hiccuping bubbles. And you're like, well, to be fair, if a kid did that, the cat would be dead.
Yeah.
But the cat probably wouldn't eat it, to be honest. But
yeah, I think a cat would be more sensible than that. But
aye.
I don't think that would be allowed now.
Nah, you wouldn't put that in a film now. No way. But when Junior first sees the cat, he comes out with a bit of a line, eh?
He does.
What a strange looking dog.
Yeah, Junior's something else from the get-go.
He is. That was the best I could do at the Junior voice. It was very difficult.
I gotta talk like real.
You know what I mean?
He had such a weird way of speaking. Like, actually, at points throughout this film, particularly in the monologue, I had really difficult time understanding what he was saying.
Aye, that's the other thing. You get a really inconsistent monologue in this. There's they chuck a random wee inner monologue in when they feel like it. It's weird. There's not really any rhyme or reason to it.
No, there isn't.
There's bits when he's just walking around, you just hear what he's thinking. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, and like because it's the same little boy, you're like, is this dialogue?
Aye.
Is he just not facing the camera?
Because you can't
and
see his
talking?
face sometimes, and you're he's just thinking out loud. Right, okay, fine. Weird, man.
Very strange.
There's a bit where you see Junior in a trailer as well, don't you?
Yeah, so when he's getting moved from house to house, he ends up at a trailer.
And he destroys it with like a...
Yeah, like a digger comes to trash it. But what was hilarious was that when you have a look at the digger going through, it's quite clearly a mannequin in the driving seat.
Aye, it was a dummy, aye.
Yeah.
100%. We actually put it back and I was like, check it out, that was totally a dummy.
Yeah, it really was.
Finally, he's dropped off at St. Brutus's, and you see him there. And I was like, I recognise St. Brutus's, and it bothered me for the whole movie, and I was going to look it up, and then I remembered, I'm pretty sure, St. Brutus is the school that Aunt Petunia says she's sending Harry to in Harry Potter.
Ah, okay.
Is it?
Is that like I think so, and it's like the sort of Borstal bad behaviour
Aye, like
school.
for bad boys or whatever. Bad boy school.
The bad boy
basically.
school.
Well, Mum threatened me with that many times when I was a child.
I'll be going to the Jaggy Jersey home.
All right, so I've just looked it up, and it's St. Brutus's Secure Centre for Incurably Criminal Boys.
Oh, wow. What a delinquent Harry was.
I know, apparently.
And now it's J.K. Rowling who's the delinquent.
Okay, and she belongs there.
Yeah.
Get in there.
Get her to St. Bruce's.
Well, then you'd be referring to her gender if you sent her to a school for boys, and that would upset her. So,
Yeah.
which would be even more entertaining. We see Ben and Flo Healy, and they're in a hospital, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
And Ben is played by John Ritter.
Yes. I love John Ritter.
Who's been in loads of stuff. You're bound to have seen him in something.
Yeah, 8 Simple Rules.
Bad
Was a
Santa.
big one. Oh, Bad Santa. He was also in an episode of Buffy, one of my favourites.
He's in quite. Aye, he was. Aye, he's been in a lot. And
He has been a
he's
lot.
one of these faces I've seen in random stuff throughout my childhood.
His
know what I mean?
son's in a lot now.
Aye.
Yeah, and his son looks quite like him.
And Flo, she's played by Amy Yazbek, who I fancied when I was a child.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what else has she been in?
Well, she was in Robin Hood Men in Tights, which I watched quite a bit.
Okay, I've not seen that.
It's a Robin Hood spoof movie. It's ridiculous and it's good fun, but she's in that. She was in Mask as well, so she doesn't play Carmen Diaz, she plays the other lady.
Oh, okay. I saw The Mask a lot.
She was in Dracula Dead and Loving It as well, which is another movie I watched. It was Leslie Nielsen's vampire movie.
Excellent.
But she was in House too. I think I spoke about House last week. Or the week before, I can't mind. Yeah, she was in all the stuff I had seen, and I was always like, hey. But in this film, she's just horrible.
She is pretty horrid.
But yeah, they're in somewhere in a hospital, and they're in a waiting room, and they're looking at books of names, or they're looking at lists of names somewhere. And well, we couldn't help but highlight this one in particular, could we?
That's got potential. Let's put a star down next to Henry.
No, I don't like it.
Oh, what about Donald? It says here that Donald is wealthy and powerful. Now that's the kind of kid I want.
Oh, okay, look, Flo. I'll be happy no matter how he turns out. After all, it'll be our child.
But it also wouldn't hurt if he was chairman of the board.
She's the worst.
She really is. Like, she's very ambitious, is the way I'll put it.
Maybe, I don't know if I'd put it that way. That sounds at least somewhat complimentary. She's just a bit of a... She's not very nice.
She's not very nice.
And it transpires they're in the hospital to see like a fertility specialist. And they unfortunately get the bad news that they won't be able to conceive.
Yeah.
And I've put that in a much more delicate way than the film does.
The way the film describes it is terrible.
It's actually horrendous, eh? Like, I think it was supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's just because where I'm at in my life. I'm like, that's no funny.
Yeah, I just don't think it tonally sits very well with what's essentially a kid's film.
Yeah.
It was handled very oddly.
It was a horrendous portrayal of the whole situation. He says something like, oh, and this was the worst part as well. 99% of people can have no problems. You're the 1% or something.
Yeah.
It's something as brutal as that, which, to be fair, the numbers are just, that's nonsense anyway, for a start.
Yeah,
right?
that is nonsense.
And it's like, all that scene does is would make people feel who can't conceive horrible, make them feel horrible.
Definitely.
And so, like, we're in a position in our lives we actually don't know what's going to happen in that front. So I'm watching this film really maybe more sensitively than I would have done.
Yeah.
But I'm watching it going, that's horrendous. And maybe it just speaks to the person I'm now. And when I was a kid, guaranteed this bit went over my head. I had no idea why they were in the hospital.
Well, this is it. And it's just, what is the need for putting it in and putting it the way they put it? Like, I appreciate the world's a very different place now.
Yeah.
35 years on.
Well, it is. Thinking of the last movie I saw that I remember very clearly because I know it quite well, that deals with the same subject matter was Up. Now, in that opening few scenes in Up are heartbreaking.
They are. They make me cry every time.
It's like the saddest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And that they deal with that very well because they show you what it's actually like for someone. Rewind 30 years prior, and this is what we were getting.
Yeah.
It's just a different approach, though. The time might not have anything to do with it, but I can't help but feel it maybe does.
I think it's definitely an element, but also the tone of this movie is really dark at points. And as I say, there's points where you're like, ugh, that's not even that funny. Like, it's not, hard to put a comic twist on a subject like that at the best of times. But I think this really fell flat.
Junior basically continues to terrorise the nuns and the other kids at St. Brutus's, eh?
Oh yeah, he's terrible.
He also idolises this notorious serial killer called Martin Beck, who is also known as the bow tie killer. Now, I couldn't help but draw the comparison that was BTK.
Yeah, and I didn't really know what BTK was until you told me.
BTK was a notorious serial killer in the US. Well, BTK stood for bind, torture, kill. That's what this guy did, right? But it was famous, massively famous, and especially in the US, right? Because I listened to a podcast about it from Necronomicon, who I've mentioned on this show before. They covered that subject.
Yeah.
And so when it comes up, bow tie killer, I was like, aye, right.
Yeah, I know. It just seems like too much of a coincidence.
But to be honest, I did kind of find the whole serial killer thing quite funny, and that he's making chat, he's chatting to this. But it's also like, it's ridiculous and all, because he's like sending letters to this guy, and the nuns didn't even ken.
Yeah, I know. I find the whole orphanage scenario very odd.
It's weird.
Yeah, like he goes around and he's taking photos of the nuns and the priest, like when they're on the toilet.
Why is he doing that?
I don't know. And I get that he's supposed to be a terror, like, oh, what a bad child, but it just felt a bit weird.
Basically, Junior decides this guy's his idol after seeing him in the local paper.
Yeah.
Hence starts to write to him.
Yeah, that's right.
And then he starts to wear a bow tie. He steals it for like $1 or something, and he puts the bow tie on. You know what I mean?
Which is a very modern look these days.
Aye,
like,
I guess so.
But not based off of a serial killer.
Nah. Do you know, I've actually just drawn the comparison now. Do you know how the Junior, slightly, even just a little bit, is similar in vibe and tone to Charles Lee Ray?
Yeah, I can get that,
Charles
actually.
Lee Ray is the character, well, Chucky from Child's Play.
Yeah.
Better known as Chucky. Right?
I think the red hair, short stature.
Aye. Do you know,
Doesn't
but
help.
the fact he's an absolute terror, I'm like, and he likes serial killers, and I'm like, inspo, maybe?
Yeah, could be.
Question mark, inspo? Oh yeah, and the bow tie killer guy, you see him on TV as well.
You do.
And he's played by Michael Richards.
Okay.
Who is Kramer from Seinfeld.
His face was really familiar to me.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm looking at him going, that guy gives me Kramer vibes. I'm not kidding. And then I went, it's Kramer. Oh my God.
That's why. It's Kramer.
And I wrote in my notes there, Kramer. I didn't even write Michael Richards. I just wrote Kramer.
Wow, okay.
I know.
He's so famous for that part. So when we see St. Brutus's and the life that Junior's got there, the food looks horrific.
I thought it looked like haggis.
I can see why you think
mince.
like haggis.
Can we have mince and tatties? It looks like that, and it looks like the haggis because it's that sort of lumpy brown mixture. Which, by the way, sounds friggin' disgusting when I say it that way.
It does.
But there's some of our favourite meals right there.
Definitely, they are staples in this household for sure.
Yeah. Winter warmers.
Oh, I know.
Especially
so
mince and tatties.
The problem with the food there, though, is that it came in one big solid lump. That's not how mince and tatties is.
No, it's no solid. It's like a sort of mixture. It's lovely.
When he...
stop saying mixture. It makes it sound gross.
It does make it sound worse than it is.
Sorry.
He throws it up to the roof and as one big lump.
It's like one big glumpus right onto the roof.
When he's putting his fork in it, all I could think of is, you know that meal in the Addams Family that they're making, and he's trying to put his fork in it, and it keeps
it's like
moving
crawling
around.
about the thing. Yeah,
that's all
so
I could
funny,
think about.
Kat. I love that movie.
It's such a good film. But yeah, so it's just St. Brutus' life doesn't look great.
Nah.
If we're being honest. And Junior also has the most 1990s boy haircut I've ever seen. I think every boy in the 90s had that
I
hair.
had that haircut at one point. I think you've seen a picture of me with that haircut, right?
Yeah, your little mushroom head.
Aye. Bowl cut.
Yep.
Undercuts galore were all the rage back then.
Yep.
That's what they called it, an undercut, but mine wasn't cut under, it just looked like a bowl cut.
To be fair, you've got very thick hair.
Aye.
Must have been a nightmare for your mum to kind of try and keep on top of.
Aye, it's hard for me as an adult to keep on top of it. I have to go to the barber all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I don't mind because my barber rocks. She's great.
She is lovely. The next part of the film we see is Ben and Flo having a discussion about adoption, and Flo is absolutely refusing to even think about adoption.
Look, why don't you just take a look at this adoption literature and we can talk about it tonight?
Why don't you look at it yourself? I don't wear secondhand clothes, and I won't have a secondhand kid. Adoption is out!
She was very forceful, which I think is Flo all over. She's not backwards at coming forwards as our Flo.
It's an absolutely brutal way to put it.
It is. It's a horrible way of looking at it.
Like I giggled because it was so absurd.
It's shocking.
Right? Aye. Came in that thing, like, I did that a couple of times in this movie. I had that sort of shocked laugh. Come on, I mean,
Yeah.
just wouldn't he talk like that now?
Definitely not, and the world has moved on. So Ben works for his father, Big Ben Healy. So he is Ben.
Big Ben! That's what
Yes.
it sounds like, eh?
So our Ben is Ben Jr.
So does that mean,
And
so what's Junior's frickin' name then?
Ben.
No, Junior. Wee Junior.
Oh, his name is Junior.
Aye, but that's not a name, right? Is it?
It is a name.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like Freddie Prinze Jr.? No, wait, that's Freddie.
Yeah.
I'm confused. I thought Junior was when you were named after your father. So then the family called you Junior. I didn't realise Junior was a name.
I think it's quite an American thing to call your child Junior. Like, it's not something you would really get here.
But you would call, but here, because here, right, you'd have like Robert and wee Robert. That's how it
Yeah.
works here.
Yeah.
It's true. That's how it works here. So you have a family line of names. You'd have Big Rab and Wee Rab. That's how you'd do that. And that's what we do here.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing there, but they use the term junior. And that's what I thought, because that's what I thought, well, what's his name then?
But Junior is also an independent name on its own.
Mentally.
Big Ben owns a sporting goods store.
Aye, he screams Sports Direct to me.
It is very Sports Direct. And that's not a bad thing.
I've only just started calling it Sports Direct, by the way. I've been calling it Soccer Sport for ages, because that's what it used to be called.
Yeah, you've always been like a wee old granddad. I'm going to go to Soccer Sport.
I'm like my dad.
Aye.
He still calls the shop whatever it used to be, I think about 20 years ago.
All days.
It was All Days was the brand,
Yeah.
which is further confused because we now have All Day, which is different, and then now it's the Co-op. So
Yeah.
it's no... It's good. When Dad says he's going to All Days, I'm like, please elaborate.
Yeah, more detail needed, please. And Big Ben is running for mayor and seems to put a lot of effort into this campaign.
I didn't even pick up on that
Oh, did you not?
until later when he mentions his campaign.
Oh, he talks about it all the
mentions
time.
his campaign later. It comes up later in one of the lines actually. But
It comes up many, many times. As I say,
right, okay.
every interaction with Big Ben, he mentions it. It's all he's focused
I'm not
on.
very observant, so
Ben Jr. is going around the shop working, and he gets called over the tannoy by his dad to come to his dad's office.
aye.
And it's not a very respectful, like, oh, can you please come to the office? It's like, get in here, sort of thing.
It's very cartoony.
Yeah. So Big Ben tells Ben Jr. That he is actually selling the store to a Japanese conglomerate.
Yes, Big Ben, right, gives me Donald Trump vibes.
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think kind of the businessman being very business focused and being very full of himself
Yeah.
probably is what's setting those alarm bells off.
Regardless, he seems like a bit of a jobby. I don't like him.
Yeah, nah. I wasn't a big fan of Big Ben either.
Jobby Breeks, Big Ben.
So Ben Jr. is obviously totally sideswiped by the fact that his dad is selling the store.
Right.
He had thought it would pass down to him, and he asks about the land that the store is on, whether he would get a slice of that pie, and Big Ben's like, well, no.
Yeah, it's not very fair, like.
Oh, it's horrid.
But
It's
then
really
also,
not good.
so this scene too, I've got a note of it, but like, he drops a derogatory term for Japanese people, yeah.
He does.
And it's like we were like, did he just say that? And it's one of these terms where people would argue it's not racist, and I think
Yeah.
that's but it is really, especially if you're using it the way he uses it.
Yeah.
Especially when you're using it with like in a derogatory way, immediately becomes a racist slur.
Yeah, it's definitely the
it's-
context that
Aye.
kind of kills it on this front.
But this is what we're saying when we're talking about this movie. There's so many little bits like that that just make you go, oh, that's dead uncomfortable.
Yeah, it always just feels a bit...
Aye.
Ben Jr. points out to his dad that he's worked in the store for 10 years without any raises or promotions, and his dad has the brutal response of, don't trust anyone, not even your own father.
Aye, it's horrible.
So there's another little Donald Trump vibe there.
Aye, I know, it honestly does, like, goodness me.
The next scenes we see are Junior receiving some punishment for the many things he has done, including taking the photos.
There's absolute chaos, I know.
Yeah.
Like he's washing dishes at one point, he insults one of the nuns.
Yes, he
Whilst
does.
he's washing the dishes, basically, this pot looks like you.
Yeah.
And the pots are like burnt and crusty.
Yeah, because she's like, I want these dishes so clean that I can see my face in them. And then he holds up a really crusty one.
Like, a really crusty one, and he's like, this looks a bit like you. Something
Yeah.
like that. I mean,
Very
Goodness.
rude. He's a rude little boy.
he is. And I can't remember how, but that nun ends up with a pot in her head.
Yeah, so I think the pile of dishes is so high that he pushes it over in one of the pots.
Henceforth referred to as pothead nun.
I think he actually says at that point, penguin in a pot.
He does. He got in a pot.
Yeah, he calls the nuns penguins quite a lot.
That's a thing, though. I
Yeah.
don't even think that's a bad thing. I think people say that.
No, I think it's
I don't know
alright.
how nuns feel about it. If you're a nun and you're listening to this, you let us know,
Yeah.
right? If you think penguins derogatory or inappropriate in any way.
Every nun I've experienced has not been in black, they've been in blue.
Aye, me too. I don't know, is that a local thing then, maybe?
It may well be. 'cause
Your
we've got-
nuns are blue.
Aye, yeah, we've got blue nuns.
We've got blue nuns.
Well, that's a wine.
Blue nun, is
Blue
it?
nuns of wine, yeah.
Well, they are blue nuns. In
There you go.
Scotland, they're blue nuns.
Aye, our nuns
They're
are
very
blue.
patriotic, our nuns.
Yep.
That's why they wear blue.
Aye, dress like the saltire. Sorted. Braveheart, eat your heart out.
I'm going to have to look into this.
Yeah, why are
I'm
nuns
very
blue?
curious. Maybe they're a different type of nun.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe we can go and get a visit.
If I bump into a nun, I'll be like, here, why do you wear blue?
When I worked in Woolworths, there was a really sweet wee nun that would come in every week. Every Saturday she would get herself a wee pick and mix, and she was just the loveliest lady. I
That's
absolutely
class.
adored
Nuns
her.
are
She was
like pick and mix. That sounds alright. Maybe I should become a monk.
I think it's a bit late because you're married.
Aye, but like, if my life goes south, at least I've got a backup plan. I've got to become a monk.
Oh, well, there you go. Good to know.
Aye.
Anyway, let's
I'll
move
start a
on.
metal band, and all monks. We'll just be called monk, but with a U.
Oh, I like that.
Aye.
That's very good.
It's going to happen. But it's hopefully not going to happen. You know.
Yeah, I know. Where am I?
I know, exactly. I didn't want that to happen. But it's a backup plan. It's good to have one, right?
Always good to have an ace up your
Monk.
sleeve. Monk. You could always put an umlaut and call it Munk.
Monk. Aye, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, very good.
And we'll be like proggy.
Anyway, we're getting sidetracked, as per usual.
Mm-hmm.
It transpires that Ben is also the coach of a minor league kids baseball team. And his friend Roy is the coach of their rivals. The
Don't like
opposite
Roy.
team.
It's coming out with a new. Don't like Roy.
I'm not a big fan of Roy either. Roy tells Ben that he is expecting another child. He seems to have quite a few, and it just all feels very insensitive.
I had no idea his name was Roy. Ron?
Roy.
Oh, Roy. Ron!
Ron.
Right, so his name is Roy. Ron.
It's Roy.
Sorry.
His name is Roy.
His name is Roy.
So back at St. Brutus's, the conflict between the nuns and Junior comes to a boiling point, and the nuns warn adoption agent Igor Peabody, who is played by Gilbert Godfrey, that they will walk out unless Junior is released from the orphanage, and Junior is more than happy with that.
I love Gilbert Godfrey.
He's so good.
He's class.
Iago is one of my favourite Disney characters.
So he voices Iago famously. He's also was friends with the Ramones, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a very cool thing right away.
Very
right.
cool.
He was in loads of stuff, but this was the one that always cracked me up, and it was Problem Child 2 more so that I saw.
Oh, is he in that as well?
He's in that and all.
God, he came back. Bloody.
Aye. I'm almost certain he's in it and all. Igor Peabody! Aye.
That's him.
He's class.
Also, I didn't know his name was Igor Peabody until I started doing
Neither
this.
did I, because it's just like, there's Gilbert.
Yeah.
Big Gil.
So yeah, Junior comes out with a couple of cracking lines here, but Gilbert Gottfried steals the absolute limelight.
Please, give me another chance. I just want to learn my lessons and do my studies so I can be smart and become a priest.
There, you see that? A priest. A priest. It's like a nun with a jacket. A boy nun. He wants to be a boy nun.
Honestly, Junior it just feels at every turn that Junior is playing every adult.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really ever really know what he wants. He just wants to
He doesn't
annoy
have
everybody.
he doesn't really have a motive,
Yeah.
but you do see little glimpses of him being just a child at times.
You do.
And like there isn't particularly any depth in this film, but there is moments where you're like, oh my god, I actually feel sorry for him. There's a one part in specific, I think it'll come up,
Yes.
where you feel really sorry for him. And
Yeah.
it's horrendous, actually. And the fact is, you can say this kid is a wee terror all you want, but he's not been treated fairly, and he's had a horrible time at it. You know what I'm saying? He's been passed around, and
Exactly.
this film's kind of making light of that fact, which is kind of weird. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Gilbert Gottfried's hilarious in this bit with his boy Nuncha. Absolutely cracked me up.
Yeah, so funny. My favourite part of all of this, though, was you trying to do the impression.
How?
Because your body kept making this weird involuntary noise because you're putting so much effort into it.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Aye. Did I know? Hold on a sec. I thought I had it here.
We do have it there.
Right. It was weird, like. My body just kept making this click and we couldn't figure out where it was coming from. I think it was like I was a predator. You know what I mean? Came for the movie, like.
Yeah.
So I'll see if we get it up here.
There, you see that?
My god, did you hear that? It was like a little weird squeak, and it was like it kept doing it like a dolphin. That's the best way I could describe it.
It was very much like that. And there was one point where we'd already heard the noise and we'd found out it was from you. And then you did it again. And then you were like, what's that noise?
I went, what's that noise? And you were like, Mikey, that's that noise again. It's coming from inside your face.
Yeah.
I'm, oh my god.
Your body is rejecting Gilbert Gottfried. But it was very funny. So a lot of effort goes into the impressions. I know they're not very good sometimes, but a lot of effort goes in.
That's right. And just to say again, we've not said for a while. Basically, on this podcast, you didn't get sound clips for the movie. You get the sort of Timu version that Kat and I do. Sorry, you were taking a drink there.
I was taking a drink there and really spat it back out.
But it's true, eh? We did a TV version, so you get the cat and I reenacting the sound clip because it avoids any potential legal problems, basically.
And it's good fun.
Which, for a podcast our size, is very unlikely. But you didn't want somebody pointing the finger at you when you've put so much work into it, so
yeah.
you know what I mean?
I feel like if anybody was listening to a pressure we did of them, they would probably be more offended than us actually just using the clip.
Yeah, but you can use the sound clip, you don't have to take the absolute mick out of me.
Yeah. Junior doesn't really help himself any further in kind of pleading his case to stay.
And just to say before this one, this sound clip might sound odd, but we genuinely tried to replicate the way it sounds in the movie. Because it sounds weird in the movie.
Yeah, there's something really off about it.
They cut it together and they mess around with it. So we did that. We tried to mess around and make it sound kind of similar. So if you think it sounds off, it's because it's actually supposed to, because that's what it bloody sounded like in the movie.
Removed? What do you mean removed?
Oh, don't worry about it, Junior. The nuns just made a suggestion you might be happier outside of the orphanage. What's so funny?
You are, you stupid dick. You see, he's wicked.
You see, he's wicked.
I enjoyed being that nun.
That was funny.
Very good.
Also, yeah, I don't know what they do with the laugh. They mix it together, they cut it up. It sounds really weird, and so I farted around and tried to make it do the same thing.
It's very unnatural.
But it was funny, man. And it's the fact that we couldn't get Kat. I couldn't get Kat to do the laugh, so I tickled her, and so that second part was genuinely Kat laughing because I tickled you.
Yeah, that's the sound
You're
of
like,
my...
I can't get it right.
Giggle.
Tickles.
Oh, honestly. But the thing is, we discovered I can make noises like a dolphin. I can yodel. We'll try to make those laughing noises.
Yeah, it was all sorts.
So yeah, Junior's in a bit of hot water at the orphanage, unsurprisingly. There's a point where the nuns are very agitated when they come in. They're very upset with Junior, and they're going to see Igor to say, like, we've had enough. And Igor turns around to them and says, don't hyperventilate. Like, don't hyperventilate. You're fine. And that kind of felt like almost a calm down.
It was.
And I would not have reacted well to me expressing displeasure at something and somebody saying, don't hyperventilate. I would be quite annoyed.
The thing is, again, I feel like, and even in the workplace, people probably did said things like that back then. So meanwhile, Ben manages to persuade Flo that they should adopt using the power that being a parent would bring to convince her to go through with it.
I think that's a smart play from Ben.
It is. He plays her, basically, because she's so power hungry. She is.
She is.
From the get-go.
It's all about status.
It's that whole thing, chairman of the board, earlier on, like she's stuff like that. She is super power hungry.
Yeah, and she mentions like her son being president of the United States
She does,
and stuff.
yeah. That's why she wants to call him Donald.
That, well, bet nobody would have saw that one coming.
No, oh dear. The neighbours are having this outrageous celebration across the street.
Yeah, it's a big party.
Outrageous, big, huge party. And then earlier on, when the guy, Sonny, Ron, or Roy, whatever his name is,
Roy.
shows Ben the sonogram, he gives him a cigar that says it's a boy on it and that. And Ben kind of looks at it and he's like, oh, okay, it's really sad for someone who can't conceive to have that happen. And then across the street there's this big party and I'm like, it's so hyperbolic, but then I'm like, and I'm not sure a celebration like that would happen to that degree. Maybe it would, but the thing that sprung to mind for me is that maybe the film was trying to make a point, right? And I'm not kidding, right? Depth alert, right? I feel like they were trying to make a point because it's the way that Roy behaves, is that right? Roy. The way that Roy behaves is so absurd and so over the top that I think it's trying to hammer the home to the point as to how it would be for the couple who can't conceive.
Yeah.
And how it feels for them.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, that can't be the case because there's other things that are so disrespectful to people who are trying to conceive in this movie.
It's not the only thing.
But then also, conversely, the points we talked about earlier with the doctor is also absurd and hyperbolic. So
Yeah.
again, hammering home the point that it might feel so ridiculous and over the top, but that's how it feels, and it's to display the point to the viewer.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I think that's exactly what it is. Because they even make comment at some point, like, they don't get invited to things because they don't have a child. Like, they don't get invited to birthday parties and stuff because they don't have a kid.
That's fair enough, though. I mean, why would you invite?
Yeah.
You get invited to the parents' birthday parties in the sort of social circle, the group and the family, if you will.
Yeah, we do.
Do you know what I mean?
So I think it would be easy, like, if all your friends had children and all your neighbours or whatever.
If I'm honest, I'm just surprised that Flo has friends.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a fair judgment.
Is that real? I
Yeah,
don't know.
no. And Flo is unfortunately a bit of a stereotype where Ben says to her, like, oh, we can go shopping for the new child. And then she's like, oh, yeah, I'm in.
Is that just like a hard
that's
eye
it.
roll from you, though?
Yeah.
As a woman, is that not really, really annoying to see? Because I'd be pissed.
Yeah, it's a bit tired, unfortunately. But It happens a lot. But I also didn't appreciate that she was like, oh, I'm going to need some cash from Ben, like as if Ben controlled all the money, and it just made me feel a bit ill.
Yeah. Junior's in class and he's writing a letter to his pen pal, who also happens to be the bowtie killer, also known as Marty.
Well, that seems super appropriate, doesn't it?
I know. We see Marty in prison and he's receiving the letter and he's clearly asserting his dominance over the other people in the prison, and the staff and everyone kind of does everything he says.
Yes, everybody seems to be a bit afraid of Marty.
Yeah, it's another stereotype, isn't it? You see that a lot in movies, comedy movies, and also other types of movies and prison movies. It's just done over and over, isn't it?
It is. There is a point where Marty throws a dumbbell.
Yeah, he throws it and it literally must be made of polystyrene. In fact,
Yeah.
But it's that cartoony thing that this movie does quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But there was at one point, I can't remember what happened, something early later on, and it's quite slapstick, and I turned around and Kat was laughing, and I went, "Are you all right there?" And you just went, "Aye, it's quite funny." Because this film does bits like that quite well.
Yeah, I think if they'd leaned into that a bit more, I would have enjoyed it more.
And less away for the sort of, subjects that might be a bit sore for quite a few people as well.
Yeah.
And you can say, oh, you're a snowflake, Mikey, because you're thinking about other people. Well, you know what? If I'm thinking about other people and that makes me a bad person, then
I'm a bad person.
Aye, exactly. But if you think that it's a new thing, people haven't struggling to conceive. No. People were struggling to conceive and have been forever.
Yeah.
So, back then, somebody went to see the film for a light evening, and then it reminds them of something that they're struggling with. And it makes light of it as well.
Yeah, it's not handled in a delicate way at all.
You could do this film and handle it in a very different way.
100%.
If they handled it in a different way, it would be different altogether.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the way it's handled that's the problem.
Yeah.
Not the subject matter, necessarily.
Yeah. And I don't think it's an issue of its time necessarily. I think that doesn't help looking at it in a modern context.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's just pretty insensitive sometimes.
But it's like he's writing to Marty and I'm like that. I knew this kid had serial killer potential.
Yeah, I could totally see Junior being a serial killer.
Aye. Charles Lee Ray.
Mm-hmm. It's funny though, because at one point when the letter arrives with Marty, he passes it on to somebody else and goes, "Read this to me."
Oh, God, right.
And this reminds me of you. Because when there was one time you were asking Siri something. And
I don't often do it, to be fair.
No, you don't.
Phone's further away. I'm like, oh, just ask Siri.
And then you asked Siri whatever it was, I can't remember. And Siri was like, "Here's what I found on the web." And you went, "Read it to me! Read it to me!" Shouting across the room.
I thought
was
she would maybe read it to me.
No,
Didn't it, by the way?
But yeah, when Marty is reading the letter from Junior, at one point he turns around and goes, "He's crazier than I am."
Aye, so Marty's convinced that Junior is called JR and that he is an ex-con.
Yes, and I think, to be fair, Junior doesn't help by referencing, being inside, referring to the orphanage and saying that he's been there for a while and all this sort of stuff. So you can see how he'd be easily misled.
So Flo and Ben visit the orphanage and decide that Junior is the child for them, and they take him home.
Yeah, so I think there was a bit of jiggery-pokery pulled by Igor here, where basically they said, "Oh no, we don't really want a 7-year-old child." And then he was like, "Oh fine, I'll put you on the waiting list, but it's a 7-year wait."
Aye.
And then all of a sudden they kind of changed their tune, noting that they wouldn't have to have the baby crying, they wouldn't have to do toilet training, all that sort of stuff. To be fair,
when he starts rattling off all those perks, I was like, is he onto something?
Aye, no sleepless nights, none of that. So I think he's just strategically kind of manipulated them into taking Junior.
Yeah.
Kind of buy it now on eBay.
I've got here in my notes, she is Raj, power obsessed. What does that, do you come with that? No?
I'm able to help you out here because I've written down that she says that she will be the president of the PTA by September.
That's it. She's like, I'm going to be president of the PTA.
Yeah, she's totally power hungry.
She is. And Igor spins a yarn about Junior anyway. And this comes apparent later on again. There's a line here when Junior leaves and sees Ben for the first time, and it was just the line, it was so random that it just made me laugh. And it was another one of these inner monologue bits that confused me, because I'm like, did he say that out loud? But no, because his mouth's not moving. And it is really confusing. They just chuck these bits in at random.
You ever seen a grown man wear so much blue?
I love it because he's got he's like head to toe in blue, but it's just so random. You ever seen a grown man wear so much blue?
Very strange. Junior's little thoughts. So odd.
They're odd, and then also the fact that they come out of nowhere and we're just hearing them and that we're not sure if he's saying it or no is also confusing. But anyway, they leave the orphanage, and I had a note here that there's balloons everywhere and there's a big celebration when Junior leaves. And I'm like, that's what it looks like when you complete the community centre in Stardew Valley. Hey,
it does.
It was the exact same. Because when you go and Marnie's outside and there's balloons
They're having a great time.
And everybody's having a great time because the community centre's open. That's exactly what this looks like.
Yeah, it really does. And then they're so buzzing that Junior's left. Like, as I say, there was confetti, there's balloons. They lock the gates behind him when he leaves.
Right, just to make sure he doesn't come back.
Yeah, definitely not coming back. But I thought, like, for the people who were filming that, it must have been so much fun for the kids that were there. Having all these balloons and streamers and stuff.
So Ben's trying to sort of make these memories and keep them from the get-go. So he's taking photos just like you would if you had a newborn or whatever. He's taking photos of the family together and taking photos of Flo and Junior together. And he's like, say cheese doodle for the picture.
Doodle.
And I'm like, what's a cheese doodle?
I think it's a what's it?
Oh, I thought it was maybe like a cheese string
I
or
don't-
like a twiglet. Or like a...
Okay.
So it could be anything.
Yeah, it could be any of those three, but I'm pretty sure it's like a what's it?
And this is another bit where we see how Igor has sort of lied to them when Ben says to Junior, basically Igor's told us all this great stuff about you.
Mr. Peabody told us how terrific you are.
He did?
Sure, he said you were voted most popular orphan 2 years in a row.
It's just, right? It's kind of absurd. Again, it's that whole thing, and there's bits in this movie where they make like adoption out to be like shopping, and it's really, really weird, and it doesn't sit right at all.
It's super weird.
And this is another example. You're most popular orphan. It's just no right. It's weird.
Yeah, it's very, very odd, and also just
And again, it's
They've been
ridiculous
scammed.
and it's silly. Like that's the whole point. It's a joke.
yeah.
Because it's a comedy film. But
is.
let us not forget. But I do think, like I say, the way it makes adoption look and stuff, and the way it makes it out to be sort of like shopping for any other, an adopted child as a commodity sort of thing. That's the way it's coming across. Which again might be on purpose.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm giving them too much credit.
maybe.
I think it's likely. And so Flo and Ben take Junior to his room, and it is horrific.
It is horrific.
It is. I remember this from when I was a kid, the clowns, and it might be because the clowns perhaps make a return in the second one. I don't remember, or I just remember seeing this part. But the clowns, it's just horrendous.
Yeah, they've decorated the whole room
Like
with clowns.
everything in the room, everything on the wall, the room is filled with clown artifacts.
Yeah.
Right, everywhere.
It reminded me of that episode of The Simpsons, where Bart has the clown bit.
Hello, Joel. Aye. It's a classic, man.
It is.
I used to work with a guy, Stephen. We used to do that all the time just because we
Oh,
talked about it.
Joel.
Hello, Joel.
Yeah, we do it quite a lot.
But yeah, that's what the room looks like, and I think a lot of people will be familiar with that episode of The Simpsons.
At this point, though, Junior's reaction would definitely not fly these days.
No, it wouldn't. What he says,
We're not even going to say it, but you just can't say that anymore.
I also like, see when they bring him into the house initially, all the pets in the house act like he's the Antichrist. Like when you watch The Omen and like animals didn't react well to Damien.
Yeah.
That's what it's like when he comes in, and I think that is completely on purpose.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of ceramics in the house, and when he comes in, he goes, "I hope you guys are insured."
He does that.
So they invite Big Ben over to announce their
No,
adoption.
the clock.
Not the clock. No,
That would
the
be
clock,
silly.
The clock is on the side of the shop, though.
Is it?
Yes. So Big Ben's Sports Town, or whatever it's called, something like
Big
that.
Ben Sports Town.
Yeah, it's got like a big Ben on the side of it. But Big Ben's actually the bell.
Yeah, Big Ben's the bell. The tower,
Yeah.
clock tower is called something else.
Yeah,
Clock
the
tower.
Queen Elizabeth Tower or something. So yeah, Big Ben gets quite excited when they announce that they're going to have a child.
Yeah, he gets a bit confused, I think, because they're not very clear, to be fair.
Finally! You and Flo cooked up a cute little kid for my campaign. I thought you were getting fatter, Mama. When's my little grandson due?
Fatter?
That's who in their right mind would ever say that? But
It's terrible.
he's a nurse.
He's horrid now. He's just
And if-
awful. And he
and-
makes everything about himself.
I would say to you now, that would never happen. Nobody would say that. There is people out there. There are people out there who would be that stupid. They'd say something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I've met people who've got that little tact
Aye.
that they just don't think about how it would their words impact on other people.
Sorry, what am I like? I just sometimes forget what I'm saying.
I know.
Well, actually, maybe you should just be a bit more tactful.
Yeah. Can you have to think about the impact on the other person, please?
Preach.
Yeah, so he's not best pleased when he finds out that Ben and Flo are actually adopting.
Aye, it's pretty sad actually. And do you know what's even sadder here? Lil Ben, John Ritter, gives Big Ben the cigar.
Yeah, he does the
And-
It's a Boy cigar.
And it's the cigar that Roy
Roy.
gave him earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, that's really sad. So he's held on to it.
Yeah.
He's not used it, and then he's used it himself.
Mhm.
There's something sad about that, is there not?
Yeah, I think there is. And I think that also it kind of feeds into the confusion that Big Ben has
Aye.
about them having a baby versus adopting.
Aye. Of course, it leads face into the confusion. It's a very confusing thing to do, but it's like Lil Ben just wants to have that moment. That's all it is.
Absolutely, yeah. And who can blame him, really? It is an exciting thing for Big Ben. Little Ben. Sorry.
It's pretty wild for us to be sitting having this conversation about this movie, though. There are moments like that that you can identify. And it's little things like that make you realise that there could have been a good movie in there.
Definitely.
You see what I'm saying? They could have done a few things and approached things differently, and it would have had more of an impact. And people would have been watching it now and going, that's people in that position might see it that way as well, and it might help other people understand what it's like to be in that position. But unfortunately, they didn't really utilise that.
No, they did not. But I do agree with you. So they go upstairs to introduce Big Ben to Junior, and they go into Junior's new bedroom to find it on fire.
Thank goodness. Junior's not so bad after all.
Yeah, he made the right choice there. Good job. But this means that Big Ben thinks that Junior is an absolute hellion already.
Big Ben has Junior's number from the very start.
Yeah, he says a horrible thing here, though. He was like, I hope you kept the receipt.
He does say that. And again, I haven't ever been in this position because I wasn't adopted or anything. But that stung when I heard it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It was quite shocking to hear.
Our apologies too. Like, if you think we're being overly sensitive here, we're just telling you what we felt when we watched this and what I think someone would, you've got to think about other people and how they would feel watching something like this.
Yeah.
But I felt like that stung that line.
And I think the two of us are pretty measured. We can take a comedy on the chin and just be like, it is a comedy. But this one was pretty shocking.
We spoke about how much we liked League of Gentlemen last week. And that's really, they really toe the line because they do things, but they always have a point. That's the difference.
Yes.
Always have a point. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying where I'm thinking maybe this film did have a point, but just didn't execute it properly.
I think you're probably right.
So these lines come across as feeling insulting and not like they're well placed.
Yeah, they feel mean-spirited, very mean-spirited. There's very little humour behind it. So the adults leave the room and Junior throws the cat onto Big Ben.
Fuzzball. Cat's called Fuzzball.
Fuzzball, the cat. They called their cats. The cat is Fuzzball and the parrot's Polly.
Yeah. Real original, guys.
Yeah, good job.
Our dog's name is Gus.
Yeah.
Big, strong name for a wee tiny dog.
Yeah, come on, Gus.
He's got a sore leg at the moment. Everybody wish him well.
Yeah. Oh, my poor little Gus.
Okay.
So the cat being thrown at Big Ben causes Big Ben to fall downstairs. Yeah, it's quite spectacular.
This is the kind of slapstick comedy I was here for.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing I was in for. It was quite funny.
There's probably people out there horrified that he throws the cat. To be fair, if you see a child actually throw a cat, you'd be like, oh my God, that guy's Satan. But the reality is because it's a slapstick moment and it lands, actually, I would say. It does land, right? Yeah. It lands, but because there's a slapstick sort of element, but the other lines didn't land, and I don't care why.
Yeah, no.
There's just no approached it properly. It's mental.
Yeah, very strange. You see Big Ben being taken away in an ambulance after he's tumbled down the stairs.
Right.
And you see poor little Fuzzball with two little stookies.
I was on Reddit and folk were saying, the guy was saying like there's so many moments in this film he remembers from watching it when he was a kid and he still laughs about it, and he's like, everybody remembers the Stookie cat. So the cat's walking through the garden with the two like stookied legs, and it is ridiculously funny to look at.
It is very funny.
And also Junior's pinched Big Ben's wallet.
He has pinched Big Ben's wallet. I forgot about this. And he takes the cash out of it.
He's counting the cash out his wallet.
Yeah, I think he deserved it.
He's not a great guy, like.
Big Ben will only miss it anyway.
No, I'm pretty sure Big Ben and Junior's feud persists into the second one massively.
Oh, really? Okay. No, I'll not be watching
it. It's actually rotten. And, an interest in doing sequels and that. You might want it at some point. I know.
Meanwhile, in prison, we see Marty undergoing a psychological evaluation. So he's in the room with the psychologist and the warden doing some Rorschach tests. So looking at the ink blots, seeing what he sees in them.
Did you also learn what a Rorschach test was because you watched The Watchmen?
No, I knew what a Rorschach test was before that point.
Well, me too.
Yeah.
All right, so I read The Watchmen before the movie came out because it was everywhere, and so I bought it. And I was working in a bookshop, so I got money off it and that, and I was like, and we were coming in by the droves because the movie was coming out. I read it, and that's when I learned what a Rorschach was, and I just assumed most other people were the same.
It's one of these things.
I
but-
was very familiar. Everybody knows the ink blot tests from and it's always in movies, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's a trope.
I've certainly been through rigorous psychological testing,
and
and I've never seen a Rorschach test.
no,
so.
it's not come up.
By the way, that wasn't for any nefarious reason. That was because of what happened when I was unwell. They did all the psychological tests after that, not because I'm a bow tie killer.
No, you're not the bow tie killer, that's for sure.
Or am I?
So Marty is quite clearly being deliberately antagonistic with
No,
what
it's
his responses to the
pretty funny.
test. Yeah, so he's saying that he's seeing colour, that he's seeing nice fluffy bunnies, very calm, very stuff. And
Who's the guy getting raging?
it's the warden
Right.
of the prison, and he seems to be really triggered by the fact that Marty's saying he can see colours.
Aye,
In the
because it's a
test?
Rorschach test. Aye,
Yeah,
he's like,
so-
what do you mean you can see pink?
Yeah, famously black and white. So the warden keeps stepping in, and the psychologist is like, you can't do that. You definitely can't do that. So he's going to have to leave. So he asks the warden to leave. And shortly after this, Marty strangles the doctor and takes his clothes to escape.
And he drives the car out, even though he's not done any driving lessons. And then Donald Pleasance is all like, he was doing very well last night.
I was going to make that joke as well.
That always cracks me up that in Halloween, man.
It's very
It's
good.
so funny. Like
The warden, when he's getting angry, gets so red.
he does, yeah.
I've never seen such a little,
Beetroot.
human being get so red. He was like the little angry man from Inside Out. Like, "Urgh."
How good is beetroot?
I love beetroot.
I don't know why I leaned. Did you see I leaned into my microphone to say that there?
Yeah, you're
Like I was like it was a secret. Like, how good is beetroot?
I know, you really wanted to make sure the audio quality got across.
Beetroot.
But yeah, so he drives through the gate, pretending to be the prison doctor, making his grand escape.
It made me think of that. Remember that man that escaped from prison under a lorry recently?
Yes.
Was that like last year? Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, last year, the year before.
That
not
was
long
wild,
ago.
eh?
Yeah, that was a crazy story.
That was a UK-based story. A guy escaped from a prison from underneath a lorry.
Yeah, he tied himself to the bottom of a catering truck like Sideshow Bob.
Aye, totally, aye. And Cape Fear episode, aye.
Yeah. Too much Simpsons for me, clearly, today. It's coming up a lot.
Can't beat them older ones, man.
It's
Seasons
true.
1 to 10. Stellar stuff.
It's Junior's first night at home, and he clearly can't sleep. So he's downstairs when Ben comes down to get something to drink and finds him in the living room. And he's rifling through Flo's drawers. And he's like, oh, no, that's her private drawers where she keeps all her stuff. You can't go raking through that. And there's just loads of different pictures of different men.
Yeah, she's got different sexy firemen and like lots of men with their tops off and that. And then Junior's just like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know. Sorry. It's like, you did.
Yeah, you did. But actually, they end up having a really nice heart-to-heart in the kitchen, and they both admit they're a bit scared about being a family. Like, it's a big change for both of them.
This is one of those moments that felt proper genuine and felt like, see, if this was a real good movie, this would have been really well placed.
Yeah.
And it would have been brilliant. But it's not in the right movie.
It's not in the right movie.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think he's really worried that they're going to get rid of him because, understandably, he's been dumped by quite a few families. But they both make an agreement that they're going to try and make it work.
Aye, they do. It's
Which
cool.
is quite nice.
Yeah.
The next day, Flo is very keen to introduce Junior to an acquaintance of hers, we're not quite sure who has a little girl, and she wants to start gaining that kind of social capital by using Junior. And the mother of this child that is getting introduced to Junior is kind of egging her on to invite him to
The
her
party,
birthday party.
yeah, it's so funny, man.
Yeah, and she's very against it.
Yeah, she does not want him there.
I don't want him at my party.
Lucy?
But Mother, he dresses like the man who cremated Uncle Leo.
Like, that's as random as, have you ever seen a grown man wear so much blue? Like, it's just like, you were dead.
I was not expecting her to say that. I
Cremated
thought it was
Uncle
funny.
Leo.
Yeah, especially
So
just because
funny, man.
she's a really small child. Like, she is like 6, maybe 7 max. And for that to come out of her mouth, I just was not expecting it. And it kind of gave me quite Peanuts vibes at this point.
Aye, it does. It's the way she's talking in that, I think.
Yeah, and also because her name's Lucy and she's got the dark hair.
Aye, and the
I
wee
couldn't
dress
help but
on,
see it.
and like, you're like, I can see it. Like, also, see this point, right? At the start of this scene, Junior walks through the house and he's like, what's going on? Right?
Yeah.
I've just got up. What's happening? And then Ben's like, oh, we're going to do this or whatever. Go camping, I
we're
think.
gonna go camping, yeah.
And Flo's like, no, you're Nelly. I'm not going camping.
She was like, I'm out of here. I'm not going.
But Junior walks through the house and he just turns around, right? And he goes, I was planning on watching cartoons. And I'm like, story of my life, mate.
Yeah, that's you.
That is me.
That is you.
So not only was I a terror when I was a child, I also watched all the cartoons, and that's really changed.
No, it has not.
We're watching Steven Universe right now, and it's awesome.
It's very good.
So good, man.
It's exceptional.
And many other cartoons. I watch many, and I also watch anime now too. So
There you go. You've expanded.
all the animated goodies. There's a bit here, I don't know why, I think Lucy's mum gives Flo a plate of something.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know what it is. Anyway, she's walking away and Flo's like, I'll make sure I return this platter. And I'm like, that's a plate hen.
Yeah.
That is a plate. It's not a platter, it's a plate.
If you want to make it a little bit posher, you could say dish.
There's also a bit here, hon, when he gives Junior an allowance. Ben gives Junior his allowance of $1.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's a big step.
That's right. It's just the funny part here is he's giving him $1, but we know he's got literally loads of money
from Big Ben.
From Big Ben.
Yeah, from his wallet that he's stolen.
Aye. And there's a bit later on that suggests he's got even more money somehow.
Do wonder what Junior's been up to.
Aye.
So Ben and Junior have been invited camping, as we said, with the Whites who are across the street. So that's Roy's family from the minor league baseball.
Yeah.
The Little League, I think it's called.
Roy.
It's Roy.
I got it right.
You did get it right. Good job.
They're on the way to camping, they're driving in the car, and Junior's just like got his wee slingshot or gutty, and he's shooting stuff out the window, and there's just like some hilarious sounds going on here. Cracks me up, man.
Yeah.
It's very slapstick again. Even though he's literally killing birds, it's still funny because it's in a cartoony type way. It's funny.
It is
Do you know
funny,
what I mean?
yeah.
Slapstick silliness.
Yeah, and I
And
was
the fact
okay
that he's
about
in a
it.
moving car and managing to hit them is really quite spectacular.
Yeah, like he's clearly had a
Get
lot
this
of
kid in the
practice.
Olympics, clay pigeon shooting.
Yeah, get him in the pentathlon, I think it's called. Modern pentathlon.
This wee
it's called
Raj
shooting it.
potential serial killer would be like, can we not use real pigeons? That's what he'd be like.
A bit weird. So they arrive at the camp and the Whites have reserved a spot for them, and it's right next to like the portaloo
Yeah.
and like the rubbish, and I was like, oh, nice pals you've got there that have reserved you this wonderful spot.
You know very well my camping experience lies in music festivals. Sometimes being nearer the loo is a bonus for me.
Okay.
Especially even before I had an ileosteostoma. Before that, I still had issues with belts. So I was always like, can we camp near a toilet? But no too near a toilet.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance.
That's the balance we try and strike. We
Yeah.
got it right last year. We were just the right distance away.
Oh,
You
fingers
can
crossed for
still
this
hear
year.
the slamming doors of the toilets, which by the way is 24/7 when you're in a campsite. It's just that dull plastic thud over and over again.
That was awful.
I'm really selling it. There's
Yeah.
always music in that though as well. You can noise and you can. It's not that bad. So I get that. And also see here at this point, the Whites. I actually wrote here, who is this guy? Do we know him?
He is Roy.
I know, and he's Roy. So how did we notice that? Because you were the same.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you only catch fleeting glimpses of Roy.
Yeah, so we didn't actually know it was him. We're like, who's this random?
Yeah, I think
But the random was Ron.
Big Ron. So Roy has many kids, which I think is kind of insult to injury when he shows the sonogram to Ben. He has 5 kids there with a 6th one on the way. The kids don't get along with Junior very well, and Junior doesn't have a very high opinion of the kids either.
Those are Roy's kids. They're sharing a brain. The one on the end has it today.
Yeah, so he's made his feelings perfectly clear. They're not his cup of tea.
It's quite a good line, to be fair. I
Yeah.
quite like it. But it's another inner monologue, by the way. And I had jotted down here, why are we getting so many of these? This is where it started to annoy me. Why are we getting these random inner monologues? Because again, I went like, is he saying that out loud?
Yeah.
Can these kids hear him?
I know.
because it's in his head.
But it would also be very...
But inner monologues, fine. Like Ken Bella, Twilight. No, that's a terrible example, right? But no, like inner monologues are okay, but they need to be utilised in the right way.
Yes.
And then you just slap them in at random
Yeah, this is it. And
when a character's in the middle of doing something.
it wouldn't be off-brand for Junior to actually just say that to their face.
Aye, and then
So-
well, that's because I wasn't sure. And then when you see he's not moving, therefore it must be an inner monologue again.
So I think the impression is the Whites go camping quite a lot, and they do things like they sing songs. So we got to sing in the background of that last clip, but they're having a kind of brainstorm about what they want to do next.
That's the way the money goes. Pop goes the weasel. Hey, all right. What do we do now?
Let's tell ghost stories.
Let's roast marshmallows.
Let's light a forest fire.
Don't you know it's bad to light forest fires?
That's the whole point.
Honestly, I was just like, Junior, mate, you can't say that,
No, you cannot.
right?
Honestly, it was so shocking to hear.
It was one of those ones, But it was one of those ones that gave me a nervous chuckle,
Yes.
to be fair.
Yeah. And it just like, I think you can never tell with Junior whether he's just trying to, it's the shock factor that he wants or if he actually means it.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I think it is, and I think the reason lines like this are in the film are just to make him sound worse than he is. You know?
I think
Hence,
you're right.
Attila the Hun, Ivan the Terrible, they were all 7 once. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. It's making him out to be like the Antichrist, when actually it's not that bad.
No.
Although he has set fire to a room full of clowns.
Exactly. He's got priors.
So, you know, I don't know. I don't think Junior wants to set a forest fire.
Hopefully not.
No, hopefully no.
However, what Junior does next...
Well, what Junior does next absolutely proves that he doesn't really like fires. Because what does he do? He wee-bees on the fire and puts it out in front of all the campers.
Yeah.
No shy, that one.
No, they're never going to be able to light that damp wood again.
I know. Well, they do, actually. And I'm like, that fire would reek.
It
So I
would
hope they had a
really
second fire.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, they've got a second fire later on. Because
Let's just make
would
that
reek.
canon.
Aye, totally, aye. Second fire confirmed.
Junior's a menace. What he does next is he manages to lure a bear into the campsite with a raw steak.
On a stick. He's got a steak on a stick and he lures the bear into the campsite. Again, this is like that kind of cartoony humour that I was into.
Yeah.
That's what I thought I was getting going into this.
Yeah.
And these were bits that I certainly remembered as a kid. All the stuff that we're talking about that I didn't like is stuff I didn't realise as a kid because I didn't care what it meant.
Of course not. Yeah, there's loads of this film that would go over kids' heads.
Aye.
It's quite funny because at the same time as Junior is luring the bear into camp, Roy and Ben are having a conversation about how Roy has a bear costume.
Yeah.
To frighten the kids as a little prank, but the real bear is coming in. So when Junior manages to lure the bear into camp,
I think that's when we see fire too.
I think that is when we see fire too, which is quite nice to see it up and going.
Aye. P-Fire's been ejected.
Yes. So Junior has lured the bear into the main camp and the kids are freaking out, understandably. Ben heads out and hits a bear on the head, but it transpires that bear is Roy.
Yeah, but then there's also a tussle between him and the actual bear.
There is a tussle between
I got so confused. It was really, really messy. Right?
Yeah.
There are ways to do this. There's going to be a humorous bear swap, all right? We've got a real bear and we've got Roy dressed as a bear.
Yes.
But I don't even think you see Roy getting dressed up as the bear.
So you see Roy with the bear head.
But that's it.
That's it.
Aye. There's no, right? And you see the bear, but there's no really a clear swap. And to make matters worse, when Ben is fighting the real bear, you see a man that is clearly in a bear suit.
Yeah.
But that man is a stunt man. That man isn't Roy.
Yeah.
So when you get the fake bear come in, it just looks terrible.
Yeah.
So I got dead confused. I'm like, Kat, what's going on here? Is there two like bears or no? And there isn't really a clear point where the real bear leaves and the fake Roy bear comes in.
I totally agree.
So I was like, I didn't get this scene at all. It was a mess.
The whole thing was a mess, and it didn't really add too much to the story, if I'm being honest.
No, I just liked seeing my favourite part here was watching Junior lure the bear with a steak on a stick because it was funny.
So the Roy's kids end up in Roy's car. When they see the bear, they go into the car, which is a very good plan. But nobody seems worried that Junior's not there.
Nah.
At all. Like, at no point does Ben go, "Where's Junior?" Because Junior's climbed up a tree by this point.
Aye, he's no bothered.
So nobody's clearly searching for him or looking for him anywhere.
It's still sad though.
It is sad. I thought it was a bit off. Especially for Ben, who's been so focused on trying to be a good parent.
Ben's character has a few U-turns in this movie.
It
and
does.
goes to some dark places, which we'll be talking about shortly. But
yeah, but Junior's having a great time. He's laughing his head off.
Junior's no bothered.
Nah, he's having a great time.
Good for you, lad. I'm on Junior's side now.
Definitely not.
All these adults are awful, so go on yourself, lad. Back at home, we see that Ben is having a conversation with Flo, and he's like, well, I can't believe that all that happened in the campsite was Junior's fault, but it seems that way, basically. Flo's like, well, this is a nightmare, and he's terrible. At that point, they're having this discussion. Polly flies in, and he's clearly learnt a new phrase from Junior, because Polly refers to them both, basically just shouts out, dickhead. Polly flies in.
Yeah, insult to injury at that point, I think.
But they're basically, it seems at this point that they're starting to suss him now.
Yeah.
Ben's been very, Junior this, Junior that. Ben's been told, remember, all these great things about Junior, so he thinks that's true.
Yeah.
And so, but the reality is now being like, well, that's not what they've told me, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think Ben's patience is starting to wear thin. Like, he's been very patient. Flo's had very little patience, but Ben's patience is starting to wear thin.
When the Healy's attend the birthday party, Ben gives Junior a hardened prune that he was given as a child by his grandfather. There's a whole thing about his grandfather having all his mental faculties when he gave him it, but the symbolic nature of the prune is still there.
Yeah.
The kids at the party are mean to Junior, no surprises there really.
No.
And Junior gets revenge on the spoiled birthday girl for no inviting him to the magic show, because she's like, well, you can't come to the magic show because you're not even a real kid or something.
Yeah,
One of them says that. It's horrid. It's horrendous.
Really nasty.
But the reality is, a kid might say say that in
Yeah.
that situation, and that's a fact. Kids can be horrible.
Yeah, it's
You know
all
what I
part
mean?
of learning as a child that you just don't say these sort of things to people and you hurt people's feelings and
Exactly.
all that sort of
So
stuff.
I remember the bit in Simpsons, back to the Simpsons again, when Marge turns into Homer and she's talking to him in bed and she's like, kids can be so cruel. And Bart's just going past and he goes, we can? Thanks, Mum. And then runs away. And then all you hear is Lisa going, Bart, quit it. It's funny. But they can be very cruel.
They can be cruel.
And they don't really know the nature of what they're saying in a lot of cases, and they don't really have understanding of how much they're hurting other people. But again, I think kids have changed now, man, to a degree.
Yeah, I think kids are a lot more emotionally
In
intelligent now.
1990, you would go like, you've been adopted, you're not even a real kid.
Yeah.
Which is just horrendous.
It is a horrible thing to say.
But now I don't think kids would say that directly. It would be below the belt. Possibly, I'm just going for what I can see from kids. These kids can be cruel. And I've heard at the football, my brother, a while ago, I heard some kids behind us saying some of the most horrendous things. And I was just like that. But it was similar to stuff we've heard in this film, but worse. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I can't believe these kids are talking that way. And I had that nervous smile on my face again because some of it was just so...
It's a shock factor.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Aye. So maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But anyway, so he's not invited to the magic show. They're all outside watching it and he's sort of sitting inside looking out to them all watching it, which is a bit of shan. Like, I believe the parents were like, oh no, Junior, you can come. Don't be silly.
Yeah.
They just leave him there.
Yeah.
But basically, Junior then decides, I'm just going to throw all the presents in the pool.
Yeah, he goes on an absolute tirade.
That's it. He replaces the piñata with canned peppers.
Yeah, and all sort of pickled stuff.
And pickles and that, and then he puts a frog in the punch bowl and he replaces the birthday cake's candles with firecrackers.
Yeah, I like that one. That was very
It
good.
was very good.
Yeah.
Touche, Junior.
He also cuts off a girl's pigtails.
Because of a girl's pigtail at one point, aye.
We should also mention at this point he's dressed like a devil.
Oh yes, dressed like a devil, which makes it very funny. Actually, this whole bit where I'm going in this absolute tirade of chaos is brilliant because you're on his side, to be fair.
Yeah, the kids are horrible.
And he's dressed like a wee devil.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's probably the best bit of the film.
Aye. So there's a bit here with Big Ben. It's Big Ben at the party. I don't know.
Yeah, Big Ben's invited. Who knows why?
Because he's going to be the mayor or something. He gives Junior buttons and stickers to hand out to the kids. Vote for Big Ben and that, I can.
Yeah.
And Junior's like, aye, cool, and just dumps them in the bin, right?
Yeah, Big Ben offers them cash, right?
Yes. He also gives them cash. He gives them $10 and then he dumps them in the bin. Now, this reminded me of a couple of things, right? It reminded me of Hubie Halloween, and it's the bit where he gives the wee lady the word searches to pass it to the kids, and she's like, oh, that's great. And she straight up dumps them in the bin right in front of him.
Yeah.
That is funny as heck, man.
It really
Every
is.
time I see that bit. And it's that wee lady that looks like she'd be a wee nice lady, but actually she's no.
She's horrid.
Aye, and then it also reminded me of a kid when I was wee who had a Herald and Post paper round, and he just straight up dumped all his papers in the burn.
No way.
Sorry, it burns like a wee sort of river goes past the area I used to live in. He dumped his Herald and Post in the river
How
in
do
the
people not
burn.
complain?
I don't know. He was just like, doesn't matter, I'll get paid.
Oh, well.
But it was that thing where it was like he didn't think there was any problem doing that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Who cares? Now I get to go home and play the Mega Drive or whatever it was at the time.
Wow.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that was a known fact that kid had done that. I thought that was funny.
That's crazy.
But that's what it reminded me of, him dumping the things.
At this point, I started to wonder, has Flo ever actually interacted with Junior at all?
I don't think so. She sees him as a status thing, as a commodity, as a something to show off.
Yeah.
I've got a child. Look.
I don't think they ever actually talk to each other.
No.
So I think whenever she needs something from Junior, she talks to Ben. Like when she's bringing them over to see like Lucy's mum and Lucy,
Aye.
she's like, oh, Ben, I need to get Junior over. So it's a very odd thing.
That is weird. She's weird though. She's not a nice person at all. I also noted here, how are the other kids more detestable than Junior?
I know, it takes quite a lot.
I will say this though, right? Still, right? The wee girl that plays Lucy is funny.
She's very funny, but she's such a brat.
She's such a brat. But she has this whole breakdown at her party. And I'm like, are we rooting for Junior here? And it feels like we are a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like we were.
I think that's kind of what we touched on a second ago, but just to say it straight up, it feels like we're rooting for Junior.
Yeah, definitely. And then that's when they have the bit where they play It's My Party, and then she's having her little breakdown and she's crying her wee eyes out.
Aye, so the song, It's My Party, I'll cry if I want to. I knew that song from this movie. So the song was like released in the early 60s. And I checked, it was a lady called Leslie Gore who was the original singer. So I was convinced because the song fits so perfectly into this scene. When I was a kid, I thought the song was made for the movie.
I can totally understand why it does
Because
fit
it
so
works,
well.
because she's like tantruming and it cuts really well between her being like really upset and having a great time to Junior doing this, Junior doing that, and it's quite good.
Definitely, and it kind of feels almost like this part of the movie is from another film.
Aye, it does, eh? A film
Like-
that's lighter in tone.
Yeah, stylistically it's very different.
Aye.
There's a lot more interaction with other children, which I think would help.
I feel like we're complimenting a 0% movie here.
Yeah?
No, right, okay, I'll rephrase that. We're complimenting part of a 0% movie here.
Yes, that's correct. I think that's
Right.
more accurate.
Let's just be clear. But basically, after the shenanigans at the party, Lil Ben decides to punish Junior by taking away his allowance.
Not his allowance.
No, his allowance. Junior's reaction to this is priceless.
You're going to have to be punished. So, I'm going to take back your allowance.
The whole buck?
And the thing that gets me about it too is that he says, oh well fine, I'll get it back, and he goes over to his drawer and he opens his drawer and he has got possibly thousands of dollars.
He's
He's
got a
got
lot of
$100
dollars.
bills
Yeah.
in the drawer. Don't know where they've come from.
Big Ben.
We didn't find out, but we're assuming Big Ben. But he's got lots of money in there.
Yeah, so $1, he's not going to be sweating it.
But the thing is, no, all that money wasn't in Big Ben's wallet.
No,
it wasn't that
not
much.
all of it. Yeah.
So we see that Marty's made it to a gas station while he's been on the run, and we see him leave the gas station, and you see a sign that says Cold River, and it says 50 miles, and I was like, that's from here to Glasgow.
That is from here to Glasgow. It's a long distance. It's a good hour's drive at
To
least.
be fair, it's not a long distance. No, in other parts of the world. And in Scotland it is, in America it's like 50 miles. Ha ha ha.
know.
Canada, they laugh even harder.
Yes, they do. While in the garage, though, I noticed that Marty really likes a smiley pie.
Yeah, what's a smiley pie? Is it like a cookie cat?
I have no idea.
Cookie cat!
Yeah, but it's clearly clown-based snack.
So Ben encourages Junior to take part in the annual Founders Day baseball game, and also as a mayoral campaign advertisement for Big Ben.
Yeah, everything's about Big Ben.
Aye, well, at this point I had no idea what was going on, so in my notes I've just got baseball election, because I had no idea. That's what it felt like to me, that a baseball election was a thing and this is what it looked like.
I can see why, because I had the big cardboard cutout of Big Ben next to the scoreboard.
Yeah, and also a baseball game. It was odd.
It was very strange, yeah.
But Junior doesn't know how to play, and the whole thing turns into a baseball bat melee with the opposing players.
Yeah.
He's basically chasing the players around. He's walloping the ball where he wants. He's hitting folk. He's absolute chaos.
It is chaos. It's just wild that, like, he obviously doesn't understand the rules, which doesn't help. But then, because he's got a baseball bat, he's like, I'm going to hit folk with it.
I think he cracked someone in the nuts as well at one point with his baseball.
I wouldn't be shocked.
It's just, it's
It
a
was
bit
chaos.
crazy, aye. And we get George Thorogood a second time. This is where we get it.
Ah, yes, okay, that makes sense. There's a bit where he reaches, like, the end of what would have been a home run, but he does it in, like, multiple steps. And he goes, touchdown!
Fair enough. He
Yeah.
doesn't know how baseball works, Kai, he said.
Yeah, it's true. And Ben at this point also says, we've adopted Satan. So the penny's starting to drop. I
Yeah.
think this might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. So as I say, at this point, Ben and Flo are pretty fed up with Junior's behaviour. So they decide to take him back to the church where the orphanage is. Ben is really wound up. So Ben goes into the confessional and totally lets loose about how tough he is finding being Junior's dad, and about how Junior's a bad child, and
It's pretty brutal. He says everyone hates him, he says.
yeah, it's really awful.
But the unfortunate thing is that the other side of the confessional booth isn't a priest. It is Junior.
It is Junior on the
So
other
Junior
side.
is hearing all this stuff. And this is where we see Junior cry, and it's the wee kid's crying in the movie.
Yeah, it's really sad.
And he's super upset because he's just heard this man who he thinks is actually going to care for him, even though his behaviour isn't appropriate, just let loose, and he's broken hearted. And it's like that thing where it's like, can you imagine being a kid and thinking everybody hates you?
Yeah.
But that happens to him, so that's what makes it quite even more sad.
Yeah,
Do you
absolutely.
know what I mean?
It was a
I
really
didn't expect to feel that in this film, I didn't think.
No.
Especially not up to this point when we've had nonsense and some
Yeah.
funny bits and some bits that are just bonkers, out of place, inappropriate or whatever.
They don't make much sense.
Bit of a mess. This
Yeah.
bit kind of stood out as being a genuine moment. Eh?
It really did. It was quite poignant, and yeah, just...
Just to juxtapose that, there is a brilliant bit just before this where Ben is on the tirade going towards the confessional booth, and this wee boy, is that boy Roy's boy?
It is Roy
boy.
Roy boy.
Roy boy's like talking to him, oh, I went fishing with my dad, and I did this and I did that, and you should have seen the size of the fish we caught, it was this big, and Ben just turns round to him and just goes, blow it out your ass, right? We were in bits, man. It was because the wee boy's reaction is just like, oh.
Yeah, to be fair, he's in a church, so you definitely wouldn't expect that.
Exactly, that's what makes it even funnier. Blow out your ass.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the wee bairn is going on about it. But he is a child, but it is funny.
Yeah.
It had us laughing anyway.
It was just the wrong moment for that little boy to be talking about that.
I know, but it's because we've seen Ben be so measured, trying to be measured.
Yeah.
This is what I would put as the beginning of Ben's descent into lunacy.
I would agree, yeah. Ben and Flo go on to speak to Igor Peabody, and Igor goes on to explain how many times that Junior has been returned by other potential parents. And it transpired that it's 30 times. So Ben has a chat with Flo and kind of makes it into an accidental rhyme.
But problems don't just go, Flo. You know?
He was a poet and he didn't know yet.
Poet.
Poet.
Aye, man, honestly, it was one of these wee moments, where it was just we giggled because that's the kind of thing that Kat and I find funny, to be honest.
It is. It's quite clear at this point that Flo is kind of done with Junior, though.
Yeah,
That's what
she
I
is.
thought.
But I'll tell you something. There's a bit here where Ben's on a tirade and then changes his mind. So this is what I mean by his descent into lunacy. Ben goes back and forward so many times.
Mm-hmm.
So it's wild, right? His U-turns are pretty severe. And like I say, I'm aware we're watching what's supposed to be a goofy comedy, but I don't think this film knows what it's supposed to be, because it's supposed to be a goofy comedy. We've had all these sort of bits, but a couple of bits that have been really genuine. The bit where he makes Junior the hot cocoa, or the bit in the confessional booth. And we've had other bits that are just flat out inappropriate, and then we've had other bits that are goofy, silly slapstick.
Yeah.
Ken, which is fine because variety is a spice of life in that, but it's just it's not jarring, it's just confusing.
It is quite confusing.
But there's a bit here where Ben says, this is a human being we're talking about, and I just wrote here in big capitals, finally.
Yeah, somebody's finally said it.
Somebody's finally said it. Because everybody is no treating the situation like I've said, they've talked about adoption like it's shopping for new shoes. Get what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's class to finally hear him crack, but unfortunately he takes another sort of U-turn shortly. But.
Yeah. Well, after the conversation with Igor Peabody, Ben is really determined to keep Junior and to love him, which is something that no other parent has done. But Junior still gets the impression that Ben and Flo don't really want him around, so he steals their car.
He does, he's sort of stopping and starting it. But I was like thinking, I wrote here, I wouldn't have kind of how to do that at 8 years old. Some 8-year-olds might.
Yes, they might. I get the impression it's not Junior's first time in a car.
No, probably not. Like, do you remember this? I can't believe I'm going to say this.
Oh, God.
Do you remember the Simpsons episode?
Oh, no.
Sorry. Right. I don't know, I'm sorry. All these classic Simpsons moments coming up. Basically, there's a bit where Bart, there's where Bart's like, there's a situation where Marge needs Bart to drive the car. She's like, honey, do you think you could drive the car? And he's like, oh, well, I guess so. And she's like, here's the keys. And Bart's like, I've got a set. And he's got wee driving gloves. And he slips on his wee driving gloves and he gets in the car and he drives it away. And it's like, that's what I thought. And I thought maybe he does ken how to drive a car, much like Bart Simpson. But I did not at 8 years old. In fact, I barely know how to drive one now.
But Junior can't see over the wheel, which is a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
So
he kind of, when he gets in, he kind of goes, and he slides down the seat so he can hit the pedals. Yeah.
And Ben is trying to cling on to the car. He ends up on the bonnet of the car, trying to convince Junior to stop, but actually ends up giving him directions because he can't see over the wheel. So he's like, left, no, right, no, left. And it was part of this film I actually found quite funny.
Yeah, that's it.
So it goes from the hood of the car onto the roof.
I do remember at this particular moment, that was when you were laughing, and I turned to you and was like, you're right there, and you were like, it's just funny. And
It's just funny.
It was bits like that we were talking about that were like, if this film was just straight up slapstick fest, it would have been rotten still, but people would have been like, oh, but it's good fun.
Yeah.
And I think some people still see it that way, certainly that's what I've read.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later on.
So Junior's driving the car and he crashes it into Big Ben's sports town, straight into the pillar of tennis balls.
Is it?
Yeah, because it was really satisfying to watch all those tennis balls fall.
Listen to me, we only watched this the other day. But no, I remember you saying at that moment, that's so satisfying.
It was so satisfying. What wasn't so satisfying, however, is Pepsi product placement.
Again.
Everywhere. It's always Pepsi. So they all head home after what has been quite a trying day. Ben Jr. receives a harrowing phone call to say that Ben Sr., or Big Ben, has taken all of his life savings to pay for the damage to the store.
Yep.
Don't know how that's legal.
I don't even know. But I did notice that at the start of this scene, Ben Jr. is reading a copy of The Exorcist. And I was like, is that just another wee nod to that he thinks that Junior's the Antichrist, basically?
I think that's exactly it.
I mean, it's been nodded at a couple of times. I mean, it's not even subtle, let's face it. It's not even a nod, it's more of a headbutt.
Yeah, well, the thing is, in the church he actually says we've adopted Satan.
Ah,
So
well, I mean, there you go.
that'll do it. So poor Ben is now financially ruined as well. And this leads Ben to kind of snap.
Yeah, again, this is his character all over the shop.
Yes, where you see him head up to Junior's room, pillow in hand.
He's basically going to smother him. He's going to kill the child.
He is contemplating actually killing him. And it's quite stark when you see it.
It's not even slapsticky. It's like he's got this crazed look in his eye, like some sort of Raj cartoon character.
Mm-hmm. He does. He looks totally maniacal.
So it looks silly, but at the same time, he is about to friggin' try and kill the bairn.
Yeah, and he's getting closer to him until there is a knock at the door. And it transpires that we know it's Marty Beck that has turned up.
Who's the killer? Bowtie man.
Who is the bowtie
Bowtie
killer.
killer.
At which point, Junior is very excited to see Beck at the door.
Aye, and Beck's less than enthused about the fact it's actually a child that he's came to see.
I'm looking for JR.
That's me, Junior.
I don't have time for this crap, kid. Now, the guy I'm looking for is an ex-con, and he's as mean as a rattlesnake.
That's me, dummy. I sent you all those letters.
Nah, I drove 1,000 miles to hang out with a 7-year-old.
I'm gonna be 8 in 2 weeks.
Don't count on it.
Meh.
Meh. I don't know why he says meh.
I don't know why, but I do enjoy that last part where he's like, I'm going to be 8 in 2 weeks, and he's like, don't count on it.
Yeah.
He's raging.
I wouldn't mess with Marty Beck, that's for sure.
At this point, Ben and Flo come to see what's going on. Ben's still got the cushion in his hand, looking all crazed. Basically, this is where Junior turns around and says, well, this is my Uncle Marty, and just totally lies to the two of them. So they think that Marty is Junior's uncle, and therefore a biological relative.
Flo's very excited that Marty's turned up because she sees it an opportunity to get rid of Junior. She's like, if we play along, that's a blood relative. So
we can make out that he's an absolute saint and maybe he'll take him away.
Yeah, she sees the opportunity here. So they decide to invite him for dinner.
It is pretty brutal how desperate she is to get rid of this bairn.
Yeah, she's really had enough now. Yeah, and I kind of don't blame her.
Well, no, not really. I mean, he is terrible.
But they've not really given him much of a chance either.
But I think that's the whole point. Nobody has, really. Although the thing is, it's kind of pointed to the fact that this bairn has been consistently a terror his whole life and has always made the wrong decision.
Yeah.
But then sometimes we just need somebody to guide us to make the right one, and he's not had that chance.
I wholeheartedly agree, actually.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she's not wanting to look at it that way. She's like, get out of my house, go away with your uncle.
But they invite Marty to stay for dinner, and they have this really awkward kind of dinner scene where they're putting on this display of, oh, look how great Junior is.
Aye.
And Flo heads into the kitchen, and Marty follows close behind her in a quite creepy fashion.
It's horrific because he's been in jail, right? Prison. He's like, women. And it's just gross.
It's weird for a kid's film.
And then to make matters even worse, they then copulate.
Yeah, they start canoodling in the kitchen.
I mean, it's definitely alluded to that's what happens.
Yeah, you definitely see them kiss.
Aye, but then he sort of tumbles her over in the kitchen and it's all a bit porny and a bit weird, and then it's alluded to that she's basically shagged Marty.
Yeah, the whole vibes are off because he kind of follows her in and is a bit predatory.
Aye, and then she's like, oh, actually I like it, which is a really dangerous way to put things across. At least we would look at it that way now.
Definitely.
I mean, it's always been that way, but at least people are more aware that that's not appropriate now.
Yeah, like I don't feel like it should be made light of, but
I mean, you can say that about quite a few things in this film. So the next day, Ben discovers that Beck has kidnapped both Junior and Flo, and that he's got to pay $100,000 to get them back. But Marty decides to leave the note in the most novel way possible, really.
He does, yeah.
By painting it on the wall.
Yeah, it looks like lipstick or something.
Ah, right. In my head it was brown, and I'm like, he painted it with his own jobbies, but maybe that's not true.
To me it was a deep red.
Aye, well, I mean, I just didn't remember, and so I'm remembering new. I'm like, aye, jobby what?
Yeah, hopefully not. But in this film, anything flies.
But Flo and Junior are quite into the idea of being kidnapped.
They
initially.
really are, yeah, because I think Flo thinks that the two of them are romantically running away.
Yeah, it feels that way. And also, Ben is also elated that they've been kidnapped because they're now out of his life.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. A wee while ago, we had a monologue from Ben going on about how they need to give Junior a chance and he needs to be loved and all the rest of it. And now he's celebrating that they're gone.
Yeah,
It's all over the place, man.
it really is.
A silly comedy, right, can be silly, but it still should make sense.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
His personality does flip-flop quite a lot.
And the thing is, you can think of like other silly comedies, and the one that springs to mind because I mentioned it earlier, and because, Halloween's just round the corner, really, it's no far away. It is quite a far away.
A little bit, but it's closer now than ever.
Autumn's not that far away,
Yeah.
right? It's Hubie Halloween, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in that, I feel that there's a story that's told and everything is consistent.
Yeah, the character choices make sense in that film.
It's stupid and it's bonkers and people hating it for various reasons. Personally, I think it's a riot.
I think it's great too.
But if someone ever uses the argument, it's just a stupid comedy, it doesn't have to make sense. So it kind of does. And, even terrible movies, quote unquote terrible films, can make sense. And this one doesn't.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's quite insulting to your audience when you're like, oh, well, what does it matter? It's just a silly comedy.
I will just change his character and now he's cheesing that the Bairns are gone, I don't know.
So one other thing to say about when Flo and Marty are in the car, as I say, she's quite excited about it. She thinks like, oh, they're kind of running away in a kind of romantic fashion. And she mentions, she's like, oh, this is our honeymoon.
Right.
And it's like, okay, deluded. But Marty clearly finds her quite annoying because he ends up shoving her in a suitcase in the boot of the car.
Yeah, I didn't even realise she was in a suitcase until later. I just thought she was in the boot. But the suitcase is ridiculous because it's not even that big a suitcase.
It's such a small suitcase. There's no way she's getting in there alive.
I don't even think dead you get in there, to be honest.
Yeah. Definitely
You
an
cut
extra
into
baggage
pieces
charge.
into a sort of grim jigsaw puzzle to get it in, maybe, but I don't think so. Ben actually has another U-turn and decides he does love his family after all, after celebrating this morning, and he finds drawings that Junior's done of like the family and that, and so he's like, oh no, he does actually care, and he finds the prune, so he's obviously kept the prune, and so then he decides to go, right, I'm going to spring into action and help now.
Yeah,
And
I
you're
would have
just
put,
like, right.
Oh yeah, another change from Ben. What a
Aye.
surprise! But I would have taken the money in his drawer and put it towards the ransom money.
There's got to be a good grand in there, at least. That's 1/100th of your amount that you need.
Easy.
So then Ben heads over to Big Ben's big shop, whatever it's called, and Ben's making a TV appearance for the election. So like, I don't remember the last time I went to Sports Direct and there was like a pure election special going on in front of me.
Oh God, imagine if you turned up and there was Nigel Farage there.
Oh God, I know. But I was sick of I'd noticed this election storyline, right? But I just didn't see why it was important, and I was just a bit like, why are they focusing on this so much? And when did this rat really start? Has it just been going on since the film started that he's been in this election and it's been mentioned over and over? But
Yeah.
I think I just didn't really see what the point was or where it was gone.
I know. It really has been Big Ben's big focus throughout the whole film.
Aye.
And he just goes on about it all the time. Everything's about the election and about him.
Aye, but I'll tell you, he refuses Ben the money anyway, because Ben's like, I need the money for...
To save his family.
Aye, to save my family. And he's like, well, actually, your wife's a pain in the arse, and your bairn's a demon, so that...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not bad reasoning.
Aye, it's daft amount.
It is.
But the thing is, we didn't ken how much money Ben is getting from his dad, or what he gets paid, or what he does for it, because we didn't really see any of that.
No, we
We
don't.
just know that he's getting money from his dad.
It doesn't sound like he gets paid a lot.
Nah.
And I think Big Ben has a lot of money, but Little Ben doesn't seem to be too
But
rich.
he lives in a nice house.
He does live in a nice house, though, you're right.
So anyway, while they're talking, Ben's like, "Kim, what? I've had enough of you." Flicks on a camera monitor that's on Big Ben, and Ben's rambling on, not really realising that he's live on TV about how he doesn't care about the voters or anything.
Yeah, he
And
thinks
then
they're
he-
stupid and all sorts.
And then he straight up whaps out his wee old man booty and moons the camera.
I did not need to see that. He had the smallest bum I've ever seen. He had like a little tiny bum.
One thing I noticed here too is that it's actually in the little box on the news in the corner,
Yes.
which makes it even worse. So they're on the news and it sort of interrupts the news for him rambling on about how he hates his voters and that.
Yeah, they're clearly prepping for him to go live, and he goes live a little bit early. I think his campaign is over.
Ben then heads back home and he steals Roy's Jeep and races to the local circus where Beck is waiting. How does he know he's there?
He's had a call to
Right.
say that he's going to meet him at this big fun fair circus thing.
I didn't remember the call at all.
I think it was very brief. But when Ben steals Roy's car, he skids off through the garden and he goes right across the grass and across the garden and kind of wrecks it, and it made me a bit sad.
Do you need to do that, mate?
Nah.
I know you're in a rush, but
Yeah.
you don't need to do that. Like, if you were in a rush to go somewhere, do you think you'd smash into Sally's car?
No, I would not.
Nah. Do you know what I mean? Because it's in the road. You'd...
I'm not a poo-poo head. That's
Well,
why.
because you're no a vicious neighbour. Vicious neighbour. That's what Ben is. He's a vicious neighbour and he's a bit weird.
He
and
is a bit
he's
weird.
also a potential serial killer himself.
Yeah.
Nearly killing a child earlier on.
Very good point. And also, as I say,
But he's also a saint, apparently, who has epiphanies about how much he cares about children. But you know what I mean? It's just all over the place, man.
Inconsistent Ben, that should be his name.
No gentle Ben. Remember
No
that?
gentle
It's
Ben.
Simpsons. Right. No,
Not again.
God.
How is there so many Simpsons references in this episode?
We had a break when recording this episode. During the break, I referenced The Simpsons again.
Yeah.
So I've actually referenced The Simpsons whilst we've not been recording.
Yes. This is,
And then multiple times in this recording.
this
What
is
is going
insanity. And we've not even reached the circus.
on?
That's the ballet, please.
That's the ballet, sorry. So Marty and Junior are waiting at the Canny Fire. I don't know why I said that.
I don't know how you said that
clue.
either.
What's the equivalent here? County Fair, is that like the gala day?
Gala day, yeah.
Right, where you go and you get you go to school and they give you a token,
Yeah.
and then at the weekend you go to the gala day and you cash your token and you get a panda pop and a chocolate bar or something.
A wee ice cream. It was a wee tub of
It was a wee
ice cream.
wee tub of ice cream and a panda pop. It feels to me though that the county fair's probably a wee bit more of a big deal than the gala day. There's a clown, right? And the clown shoves a balloon animal in Marty's face, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, is this clown a dick?
I think this clown is a dick because I think the clown is also making fun of Marty's height.
Look, a giraffe.
Look, a fist!
It's quite fun. I do enjoy it.
It was good.
And when I looked after we'd watched this, I went on Reddit, and this is definitely a scene that people highlighted a few times.
I'm not surprised.
And then but they're basically going over to, they're just about to meet Ben, and Junior's just having a nice wee day out, really.
Yeah, he's having a great time.
Not really noticing, and he makes a suggestion to Marty, and Marty's less than enthused.
Hey, Martin, let's go see the bearded lady.
No, I've seen too many of them in prison.
It's class, eh?
Yeah.
Oh dear. But Marty double crosses Ben when they're doing the changeover, and he decides, I'm going to keep the money and I'm going to take Junior as well.
What a rotter.
He is. And Ben fights back and he's like, no. So he kicks Beck in the crotch and he runs off, and then Beck chases after him. So Beck follows Junior onto a trapeze catwalk in one of the circus tents, but Junior disconnects the holding bar, which is the thing you swing from, and Beck goes flying through a trampoline, and he quite frankly deserves it.
Yeah, he does indeed.
Yeah, and then and we see Ronald McDonald as well, is there?
Yeah, we do see Ronald McDonald in the crowd.
Ronald McDonald! Oh my god, it's Ronald McDonald! But Ronald McDonald's there, random.
Very odd, and probably the best cameo we've had in this podcast so far.
I can't remember any of the others, but this one stands out to me right now.
And me.
Anyway, Ben and Junior then decide to chase after Beck because he's getting away in his car, and you're like, well, I turned into Cat, I'm like, why?
Yeah, you asked me why, and I was like, because the wife's in the boot.
And I'm like, yeah, I know, but just leave her.
I know, she's quite annoying.
Who really cares, Ken?
Yeah, none of us do.
Get rid of her, even if she is Amy Asbeck, Ken.
Yeah, sorry Amy, I'm sure you're lovely in real life, but Flo is not a good person.
No, she's a meanie.
She is a meanie. So yeah, during this pursuit, as I say, Flo is in the boot of the car and the car gets bumped, causing the suitcase to go onto the roof of the stolen Jeep. And Ben is in hot pursuit in the car, and it's Roy's car, so of course that means there's a shotgun in it.
Yeah, Roy feels like the kind of guy who would have guns.
Definitely, because you can see Roy is very outdoorsy. So yeah, Ben uses Roy's shotgun to shoot out the back tyres of Beck's car.
Mm-hmm.
And this causes the car to overturn on a bridge. When Ben and Junior then slam into the car as well, the suitcase is launched into the air with Flo inside and goes onto the back of a passing farm truck.
Oh well, she's off with the piggies.
Yeah, she's gone for a wee flight. The police then arrive, and Beck immediately gets into a scuffle with the arresting officers and grabs one of their guns and shoots Ben. Oh no, says us.
That's it. I was like, whoa. Hey.
I was like, is this how this is really going to end?
I genuinely, okay, I knew he probably wasn't dead, right?
Yeah.
It still was like, oh my God, he's been shot. It felt like this film was just going everywhere. It was going so many different random places.
It was, and the end really compressed as well. We did a lot in about 10 minutes.
We'll get a clown, right? And then he'll punch a clown, and then we'll have the suitcase, and then he gets shot. That'll be a great idea. That's how the meeting went, I think.
Yeah, I think it was. I think they just kind of too much caffeine at the end of this film. Thinking that Ben has perished, Junior is really upset.
Perished.
He has perished.
Ben has perished.
Junior tearfully apologises for all his wrongdoings, and he promises that he will never be bad again.
Smells shite.
Yeah, sounds like a promise he won't be able to keep.
Aye.
While Junior is weeping away, Ben manages to regain consciousness and has discovered that the bullet was trapped in the prune that his grandfather gave him in his pocket.
Yep.
Bulletproof prune.
The prune of steel.
That is it. It's like, what?
Yeah, that was the twist I didn't see coming.
I didn't think prunes, even if they're ancient prunes.
Yeah.
It sounds like something you get in Stardew Valley.
It does, the ancient prune.
The ancient prune wouldn't be that hard, I think.
No, not hard enough to catch a bullet.
No.
That's for sure. They are quite sticky though. So Beck is hauled away by the police and taken back into custody. Ben and Junior are happily walking away at the end, and the last shot we see is what happens to Flo. And Flo manages to open up the suitcase that she has been trapped in to find out that she is stuck on the back of a truck with two flatulent pigs pumping in her face.
Yeah, she's getting them big old pig farts, but I'm pretty sure when she opens up, the first thing she sees is a big old set of pig paws.
Yep, big pig testicles right in her face.
I'm certain, I'm not a biologist nor a farmer, right?
Yep.
Both professions would be quite cool though, but I'm neither. So I don't know if it's actually a boy pig.
I'm pretty sure it is.
But it looks like, the problem is I can't really remember.
The more I'm thinking
about it. If I saw it new, I'd probably be like, it's definitely a boy or a girl. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it is a boy pig. And it's a weird shot where you get like the kind of point of view from what Flo is seeing kind of peeping out of the suitcase. And it's a really weird thing to end on.
This is where the film ends with a big old set of pig paws.
Wonderful. So, Mikey, what did you think of Problem Child?
The first thing I wrote down after we watched it was how that this film is tonally jacked.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
I can see why I liked it as a kid, and there's still some laughs in there, like silly things that you were laughing at the thing when he was on the roof of the car and that, and just like there's a few other things. It tries to make this point I've mentioned a few times, this sort of hyperbolic neighbour thing where they're like, oh look, we've conceived a baby, and it's right in their face. But I think it's doing it to make a point, maybe.
Yeah.
At least it seems to me like that's what they were trying to do. Maybe they weren't, maybe that's like a mistake, but it feels like that to me.
No, I think you're right, and especially considering it's like conceived his sixth child.
Again, that's another layer to this nonsense, this craziness, to shove it right in your face.
Yeah.
And the adoption thing too, it does the same with that, and making it look like shopping. He actually likens it to shopping at one point.
He does.
Flo, but whilst it does that, it can be so brutal. One of the first scenes we see with Ben and Flo, they're going to see the doctor at the clinic, and he's just so brutal. If you were watching this and you were struggling to conceive, how is that going to make you feel? That's all I could think now. You know, maybe I'm being overly sensitive, but I feel that's what I noticed.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and I think the world is a very different place now. This was 35 years ago, but I think even back then, it was pretty inconsiderate of people's feelings.
Aye, there was a lot of stuff. There was, like I said, there was sort of derogatory language used through it as well. It's rad, you just wouldn't get it now, I don't think. Not a film like this anyway.
I agree, yeah. I don't think this film would be made today. Certainly not in the form it's in.
And it often had me wondering, right, what is it they wanted us to feel when we were watching this?
Yeah.
What's the motives behind it all? I didn't get it. Is that the point that we're trying to make? That when you're trying to conceive, it's not easy and it's actually pretty horrendous, especially when you're constantly reminded of the fact. You know what I mean?
I think that's it, and maybe that's just to show how much Ben wants to be a father, because you can see how much it visibly pains him when things like that come up.
And I also had me wondering, it can't have been good for adoption as a whole. And so is it almost irresponsible to make a film like this, where you're making a film about a child who's been adopted and who's a nightmare. That's not really going to encourage folk to know that folk are going to base their life knowledge on movies, but unfortunately that is the case, I think.
It is. Well, we've got a really recent example in that, and it's not the same thing, but the inclusion of Crypto the Superdog in the recent Superman film led to a 513% increase in adoption
That is
of
an
dogs
incredible
in the
number.
US. It's amazing.
I keep seeing stuff on my social media since me, you and Rob went to see it, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And my social media and that's just been like flooded with it,
Yeah.
and I'm no mad in any way. But yeah, but you're right. Like I think that just goes to show that actually watching a film is going to get in your consciousness, even if you're only sitting for 2-3 hours of your life watching a movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to put that idea in your head, and clearly is if people are going to adopting dogs because they've seen that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's maybe where I feel that this film has an opportunity missed. And I think it's more that we have higher expectations of films of this ilk now, to have a bit more heart to it.
Aye.
I feel that if John Ritter's character had been trying to be the ideal father the whole way through, and showing frustration, of course, but, really trying to coach Junior to make the right choices.
There's none of that.
There's none of that. It's just every character is quite self-serving, and there's very few of them that you're actually rooting for.
How many films have we seen now that are of this kind who do have more heart? Minecraft had more heart than this.
Minecraft did.
And it did have a bit of heart because it was all about this bear and he's obviously lost her thing. You know, there's a lot going on there. It was
There's
quite
a
intense.
lot going on.
But these kind of films now, you're right, we do go see, we do expect to have a bit of heart, and there's none of that in here. None.
No, it's very superficial.
Aye.
Super shallow.
So when I popped online to look into this one, it was quite interesting because I found that LA Times article that mentioned Child of Rage. And I think the article was called The Problem with Problem Child or something,
Okay. Yeah.
which is fair because it highlighted that and a few other issues. There was also a site I hadn't been on yet while I've been doing this called Film Stories.
Okay.
And this, so I took an excerpt for that because this really sums it up actually, right? Junior's potential pillow smothering, kitchen conjugal visits, and a mass murderer who makes the wet bandits seem wet.
Okay.
Was it listed that off? And I'm like, that's actually a fair point.
It is all fair.
I think what they were trying to do was list examples of how outrageous this thing gets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And where some of the sort of problem areas might be in the movie.
That was just to name but a few.
I also seen that with some folk outraged by its depictions of animal abuse, and I'm like, I don't think there's animal abuse. He throws the cat at Big Ben,
Oh, right, okay.
and we see some pig paws. I don't think that's animal abuse, but as well as that, it's quite slapstick too. Like I feel that bits like that do fit. I think anyway. And you see the cat with the stookies, which really hammers home the silliness of the whole thing. It's not like a violent attack. That's not the way I saw it. It's a slapstick moment, but you know, people could understand why someone who might not want to see it. But
Also, can we point out that he throws the cat out of a burning room?
yeah, so he kind of saves the cat in a way.
Yeah.
Junior's a saint.
Maybe we wouldn't go that far.
But then I had me asking, Kat, right, and I wrote this down. Does this film fail to do tongue-in-cheek and slapstick?
I think it does. Most of the time.
Aye, largely fails.
I don't think this film really knew where to pitch itself.
No, that's what I said. It doesn't care what it wanted to be. No idea.
No, and it feels to me like it's trying to come at a few different angles and kind of misses the mark on most of them.
Regardless of that, it seems to be popular as well, because Reddit, when I was looking, was just lit up with folk quoting it endlessly.
Really?
Aye. Like, I watched it a lot as a kid. Me and my brother loved this movie. There was, folk were chatting about it and talking about it fondly.
Okay.
So it has its fans and folk who think it's good and enjoyed it, probably as kids. But like I say, I watched it as a kid. No watched it since, to be fair. That's been a good 30 years or probably. I've watched it now and I'm like, it's weird. The whole thing doesn't sit right. How's that? Is it because now I'm an adult and I'm able to look at it and go, oh, that doesn't fit right, or that's not right, or oh, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
So that's where I sit with this one. The film is fun and it has funny moments, genuinely had us laughing out loud at bits, like, you stupid dick, like that made me laugh. But again, that feels like the kind of line that should be in like a 12.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm not 100% sure that our laughs were actually because it was funny or whether it was just out of shock.
I think it was. And then there was other moments where we were just like aghast, right?
Yeah.
Aghast, I tell you, right? And it's
Like when Ronald McDonald showed up.
like when Ronald McDonald showed up, I was mind blown. But generally that's what I think, and I just think in the end we've just ended up with this sort of weird feeling damp squib that really doesn't really go anywhere.
As I say, they kind of couldn't maybe decide on which angle to take it at.
Yep.
And I feel like maybe they're trying to capture some of the stuff, sort of essence you see in like Little Rascal-esque films.
Aye.
So I think if the kids had interacted a bit more and Junior had been interacting with another child, it might have felt a little less weird
Yeah.
because of what he was doing kind of felt a bit adult at times, like, you know, like with intention to harm.
Aye.
And just being quite vindictive. And then the adults were being quite nasty to him as well, which shifts the dynamic. While when it's kids interacting with each other, you know, there's always that learning aspect of, you know, a child learning how to interact socially with other kids. I think that might have changed the kind of aspect you're seeing it through a little bit if they had tried that.
I don't think it's good.
I also don't think it's good.
And having watched it again now, I was expecting to have a bit of a light-hearted chuckle, and I actually left it being like, oh God almighty,
Yeah.
that's dated. That hasn't aged well. It's genuinely how I'd sum this up. How's that?
I think that's a perfect summary.
Right, Kat. I'm closing my notes. I'm shutting off my iPad. Geez the triv.
Trivia time, baby. Throughout this film, Ben reads several self-help books on parenting,
Including The Exorcist.
including The Exorcist. Each book features a photo of the author on the back cover. The author photos are John Ritter dressed up in various costumes.
So they put all that effort into that little joke that nobody noticed or knows about.
Yeah, I didn't see him read one.
But you could have put
parenting
more
book.
work into the rest of the frickin' movie.
Yeah, absolutely could have.
Do you know, I guess that's maybe unfair. I don't know if this film's terribly made. I'm not sure. It's just, it's the content itself. It's not the way it's made. It's the content. It's just pans.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I totally agree with that. Where it's not a bad looking film. So Jack Warden, who plays Big Ben, agreed to be in the film after Dennis Duggan, the director, offered him half his net profits.
Well, you mean the guy for the Store Club?
Yes, the guy from the Store
Okay.
Club, Big Dennis Duggan. Jack Warden was so touched by the gesture that he agreed to take on the role, but refused to take any of the potential earnings. So he just liked the gesture and signed on for that reason.
Look, you're all right. You'd have to do that.
In 1999, John Ritter married Amy Yazbek in real life.
That's cool. Like,
So she can't be as horrible as she is in this film.
they both feel like they'd be cool.
Yeah, I think so too. And John Ritter seemed like a nice guy.
I know. I mean, I think they were maybe married up until John Ritter passed, actually.
Oh, I know, it was so terribly sad that he passed so young. According to Dennis Duggan, the test screens for this movie were an absolute disaster, with 70% of the audience walking out. Verbal complaints from viewers, and a score of only 30.
Verbal complaints for viewers. Do you think that's about some of the stuff that we've talked about?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Or worse, that's been cut.
The studio forced 2 weeks of reshoots, including a retooled ending and the addition of key scenes like the girl's birthday party. So the birthday party wasn't intended to be
Kind
in
of
the
a crucial
film.
moment, and it actually, again, according to Reddit, the one that folk talk about a lot.
It was very, it feels very different
Aye.
in the film, and it's quite entertaining actually.
If the film was like that, it would have been much better.
There was going to be a bit during the It's My Party montage in which Lucy was sawn in half by the clown. Junior replaced the fake saw with a real saw, which ended up cutting off Lucy's dress, revealing her underwear. The scene was cut as it was deemed too risky.
That is outrageous.
Who thought that would be a good idea?
Well, you can turn it and be like, oh, it's a bit too risque. No, it's just straight up dangerous, like,
yeah.
to depict the bairn getting sawn in half. Like, but again, I think it's just a case of what movie you're watching. They didn't ken what they were doing. They didn't know what they were aiming at and who they were aiming at. It doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit.
And so I'm glad they took it out, but also hearing it doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, nothing about this film shocks me anymore. I don't think.
Raji's making this movie, man.
Yeah. The role of Junior was originally meant for Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, what a surprise.
Yeah, shocker in the 90s. However, Culkin would go on to play the devilish child in The Good Son, which came out in 1993. During an interview on Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal podcast.
The Amazing Colossal Podcast!
That was very good.
Thanks.
The screenwriters for this film appeared, and they revealed that the story was inspired by a 1988 LA Times article, An Adopted Boy and Terror Begins. The story is about a married couple suing an adoption agency because they were not informed that their adopted son had severe mental health issues with violent tendencies and had been previously returned to the agency multiple times. While other writers pitched the story as a horror film, such as Bad Seed or The Omen, the writers thought it had potential as a comedy. They envisioned a dark adult satire of the then popular films in which cute kids teach cynical adults how to love, like Baby Boom and Parenthood, Look Who's Talking, Uncle Buck, Kindergarten Cop, and Three Men and a Baby. But the studio insisted on turning this into a child's film, which meant numerous reshoots and rewrites. They said that the production was really, really difficult and that they were really disappointed in the outcome and anticipated that it would bomb. One of the writers actually cried after the cast and crew screening. The film was actually a surprise hit, and it was Universal's most profitable film of 1990, and the writers were actually so embarrassed that they have tried to distance themselves from the film in its immediate aftermath, which proved really difficult because it was so popular. And studios were initially reluctant to hire them or take them seriously based on the work having such a prominent, disreputable film.
So basically they couldn't get any more work because of this movie.
They managed to get work again in the industry. And looking back, they say that they still feel the film is a mess, but they do take some pride in being involved with one of the very few PG-rated children films that is that dark and is that crazy, adding that they think now it has its funny moments.
See, everything you've just said explains everything.
It really does.
It explains everything. Everything I've said, all the stuff we've noticed, everything, all the tone and all the troubles that we have talked about this whole episode is explained by that fact.
It is. It just
because they were trying to make two different movies at one time.
Yeah.
And when that happens, it never works, man.
No, it does not gel at all. And it seems like there was a lot of trouble during the production as well. So they clearly had to try and salvage what they could.
And then they make a mint of money on it. And it's the highest grossing film of the year. Bonkers, man.
And my last bit of trivia for this week is that the ad campaigns for this film included fake reviews from a number of famous movie villains. Would you like to hear them?
Oh, you're there, eh? That's cool.
So Al Capone said, 4-star fun for the whole gang. Frankenstein's monster says, 10 out of 10. Junior had me in stitches.
Hey, this is alright.
Freddy Krueger said, this kid gives me nightmares.
Hey, that one's actually quite good. I quite like that.
Darth Vader said, I wish he was my son. Yeah, we're fading fast. And last, but by no means least,
okay.
You're not going to believe who this is. Bart Simpson.
Oh my God, you're kidding, man. Oh, can't escape the Simpsons.
Yeah.
4-finger discount are going to have us for talking about the Simpsons so much.
I'm so sorry, everybody. Like, we didn't do this on purpose. I promise I didn't plan it. Bart Simpson said, don't have a cow, just see this movie, dude. Wow.
Well, we didn't hear a Wilhelm scream, did we?
No, we didn't.
No Wilhelm scream. We've had two, right? We've had two so far this season, and they were both in the one movie. And it was the most unlikely movie. It was a goofy movie.
Yeah, I would never have pegged a goofy movie for having that. So, Mikey, what was your favourite line from this film?
I think my favourite line in this movie is actually, right, Gilbert Gottfried going on about how he wants to be a boy nun. It was so ridiculous. It was a genuinely funny moment in this film.
It was.
Please, give me another chance. I just want to learn my lessons and do my studies so I can be smart and become a priest.
There, you see that? A priest. A priest. It's like a nun with a jacket. A boy nun. He wants to be a boy nun.
A boy nun.
It's a boy
great.
nun.
I love it.
Why can he not be a boy nun? I think my favourite line has to be the 8 in 2 weeks. Don't count on it.
Oh, I nearly picked that too.
Oh, did you?
Belter.
I'm looking for JR.
That's me, Junior.
I don't have time for this crap, kid. Now, the guy I'm looking for is an ex-con, and he's as mean as a rattlesnake.
That's me, dummy. I sent you all those letters.
Nah, I drove 1,000 miles to hang out with a 7-year-old.
I'm gonna be 8 in 2 weeks.
Don't count on it.
I don't know.
I don't know why you kind of messed.
I did, because I did what he does in the movie.
You did? It's a faithful translation, Mikey.
Exactly, that's what we try to do here.
Mm-hmm. And what is your favourite sound?
My favourite sound was the bird getting sort of hit, right? So when they're driving in the car and Junior's got this miraculously perfect aim, when he's hitting birds on the side of the road.
With his slingshot.
With his gutty.
That's what it's called here.
Gutty!
That is a good sound.
And I always wanted a gutty, and I never got one, because my mum was like, they're dangerous. And she was right.
She is right. And were you gutted?
I was gutted. And what was yours?
Mine was when Marty Beck punches the clown after going, look, a fist.
It's such a spectacular sound, man.
It really is. The honk of the nose, the sound of the wail after getting punched, it was just chef's kiss.
And that was a wee bit different for the one we did, because we had to make a sort of fake version, because the sounds weren't, I couldn't rip it for the movie, it wasn't going to work, but it was. I still managed to get it there so you could hear it, but...
I think it sounds pretty good. I think we did a pretty dang good job.
Did they say the name of the film in the film, Kat? I didn't recall them saying, "Oh, Junior's a problem child," necessarily.
Nah, I didn't get one either.
Nah.
I would love to hear what other people think about this film. Can you please share some reviews with me?
Of course. So these are audience reviews from Rotten Tomatoes. So these are just people reviewing it, no film critics necessarily, just randos like you and I. And our first person says, "The movie is full of cliches and over-the-top performances, especially from Gilbert Gottfried as the grumpy adoption agent. Even though the cast is talented, the movie doesn't make you laugh or give you anything new to think about."
Okay.
I don't think you need to have something new to think about whenever you see a movie, right? But, you know, if it's supposed to be a comedy, or a horror apparently initially, if it's supposed to be a comedy, but it doesn't make you laugh and this person's pointed out, you know, that's a fail.
Yeah, and it's not as if they were without a talented cast.
So the first sentence of the next review actually sums up this podcast in a nutshell, right? Just because Rotten Tomatoes says it's bad, it doesn't mean it's bad. But aye, and then they go on to say there are so many classics that get a bad rep from this site and some overly hyped movies that just plain stink, yet they get better reviews. Go figure. Seen hundreds of movies that are way worse than this film. Now, I'm just going to say, this person has a point, but I can't believe we've found that point in amongst the reviews for this movie.
I know. Like, of all the movies we've had a look at so far, I can't believe that's the comment on this one. Like, I could have taken it on Evolution. I could have taken it even on Madame Web. I would have probably said that's ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, there are others that I would have much more happily taken that comment on.
This person says, "I haven't forgot about this film." Well, cool.
Good. Thanks for letting us know. Thanks for the review.
Okay. And after all these years, I have no internet. Wait. What?
Oh God, what a shame. How did they write the review?
She's lost her Wi-Fi. I have no interest in watching it ever again. Makes Martin Short's film Clifford look like Dumb and Dumber.
Wow.
I'm not quite sure if I can understand that sentence. So Martin Short must have a film called Clifford. Are they trying to say that Dumb and Dumber is a great movie?
I think they are trying to say that Dumb and Dumber is a great movie.
Like, Dumb and Dumber is a fun movie. And a good comedy movie that people enjoy, especially when they're kids about my age. And it's not Citizen Kane, is it?
No, it's not.
That's
not
why I was
Oscar-worthy.
confused by this sentence.
I can see why.
Because if you're going to use an example like that, don't use
Dumb and Dumber. No.
Right, here we go. And again, I'm reading these as written, and this is all in caps.
Oh God, right. I'm bracing myself.
Bring in a damn zombie to eat that little... And then there's an expletive, which... So normally you pick symbols to match the letters, but I can't figure out, given the number of letters and everything, what they're actually trying to say here. So
Okay, they've clearly got very keen.
I think they're going
expletive.
for... Aye, right? Face off! See if you'll still be smiling! And then they've got... Arrgh! But that part's not in caps. So it would read like this, right? Bring in a damn zombie movie to eat that little... Whatever he said. Face off! See if you'll still be smiling! Arrgh. That's what it reads like to me.
Yeah, if it's not in caps, you're not shouting.
The next person says they don't make them like they used to anymore.
God.
Wait a sec, right, hold on. Offensively awful, incredibly mean-spirited, cheesy and repetitive late 80s score, mind-numbly, reading these as verbatim, over-the-top and laughably horrendous narration job by the child actor. This movie has a special purpose now after seeing the fantastic film remake of Cape Fear 1991, during the famous scene when Robert De Niro was in a theatre watching this.
Robert De Niro is watching Problem Child.
So it must be Problem Child in the 91 version of Cape Fear, aye?
Oh my God, we're going to have to watch it now.
That's hilarious. I can't believe that was in your trivia. But I do love that they've actually wrote LOL in caps. Genius. An abomination of a film, but my gosh, one of the greatest movies ever made, though. Wow.
Oh God, right. Wow.
He's doing more U-turns than John Ritter in this movie.
Yeah.
My favourite version of Cape Fear.
Oh no, don't do it. Don't do it.
Alright. It's the Simpsons one.
No. How's it come up again?
Once I've edited this episode, right, in the next episode, I'm going to tell you how many mentions of the Simpsons there are. Because this is outrageous now, I'm telling you.
It is ridiculous.
Right. Okay, cool. Couple of smaller reviews left. If you want to kick the kid to death by the end, don't feel bad. He's really that much of a shit.
I agree.
God.
If you have to listen to that inner monologue one more time. Oh my God.
The one on the end has it today.
Ugh.
And the last one here says, piece of shit. That's what it starts with.
Oh, right. I thought it was just it. I
No,
thought it was the whole thing.
piece. No, there's a little bit more. A little bit. Piece of shit. This film will have you thinking about sterilisation long before it has finished. Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Jesus.
That's really inappropriate considering the content of the movie.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Like, God, man.
Wow. So, Mikey, do you think this film is fresh, rotten, or rank rotten?
Oh, well, listen, right. Initially there I'm thinking that this film is nowhere near being a fresh film. I'm sorry, right? And then I've got like this kind of decision to make where I'm like, is it rotten or is it rank rotten? Do you know what, right? And I'm thinking about it, and given how much I've said about content in this movie that just doesn't fit, how much it's complete bastardised version of two different movies smashed together, or at least two different approaches smashed together into the same movie, or we're going to make a dark sort of horror film, or we're going to make a child-friendly family film, or actually we're going to meld those two things together. Terrible idea,
Yeah.
right? It's rank rotten.
I wholeheartedly agree. This movie is a mess. It's the story's quite convoluted and a mess. You don't really care for any of the characters. Junior has zero redeeming factors. Ben has zero redeeming factors.
There's one part where he does, and it's when he's upset in the confessional booth, and you feel sorry for him.
Yes.
But that, and there's another bit, the bit where he makes him cocoa, right? But those two bits do not a good movie make. There are other humorous slapstick moments. Stooky Cat will stay with me, right? And that amused me, but that is still nowhere near enough to save this absolute dumpster fire.
It's not. It's an hour and 20 minutes of my life I'm not getting back.
And now we've just spent how many hours talking about it, and now I'm going to have to edit it for a few days. So, great.
Yep. Hope this feels
Why
like
did we start doing this again?
Yeah, I don't think that we can even get close to calling this film rotten. It's pretty bad.
So that actually, I think, makes our third rank rotten movie. And I mean, you're not going to watch it again, are you?
Absolutely not.
Me either, probably.
Even in like a flu fever, I would not.
That was me with the flu. I'll tell you what, I think you're right. There's loads of these movies we've covered I'd watch again if I just was sitting there and I wasn't, like, I was in bed because I'm not well, or I'm just lying down, or you're switching off and we're playing games, or I don't know, something to have on. There's movies I would do that with that we've watched so far, and movies that I really like that we've done so far, and love that we've done so far. But this one I never want to see again.
Never ever. If I don't hear Junior's inner monologue again for the rest of my life, I'm quite okay with that.
Well, you're going to when you watch Problem Child 2.
Absolutely not.
As we've said, we're actually having a wee break now until later on in October.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. And it just gives us a wee bit of breathing room, and we can sort of work on some of the podcast stuff in that time, but largely just have a wee break and then we'll come back to it later on.
Yeah, we've got a few wee DIY bits that need to be attended to as well.
Totally. And a few other things I'd like to do, like finish Breath of the Wild on Switch too.
Hooray!
And read that murder book that I'm reading. What's it? Thursday Murder Club.
Yes.
Because the movie comes out at the end of August, so I want to read that too. So
let's hope that's not a rotten film.
Nah, man, I think it might be. I hope it's going to be good. If it's got good movie written all over it, you know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I've got good vibes off it.
I hope so. Anyway, our next film later on in October, and if you want the date for the next episode, keep an eye on our social media because we'll put it out there when we know exactly when we're bringing it out, right? But the next movie, we're going from Junior to Chucky.
Oh,
I know, so it's not that much of a leap. But anyway, we're going to Child's Play 2.
Oh, brilliant.
I love Child's Play 2. And I know I say this a lot when we talk about the next movie we're doing. In a lot of cases I've looked back and went, oh God. But Child's Play 2 is a film I know inside out. I could probably rattle you through the plot right now. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know I love it.
I'm looking forward to going over it with a more closer eye.
So am I. And that's been a fun thing doing this, is looking at movies we know really well and then watching them with a closer eye and noticing stuff you didn't notice before, or stuff you didn't like that you never noticed before, because that's entirely possible as well.
Like
anyway,
Jason's Lornhead.
Jason's Lornhead, exactly. Big Lornhead Jason. But it'll be a wee sort of entrance into sort of Halloween time, isn't it? So might as well do something a wee bit of horror flavour. Yeah,
we'll have cooler clowns by then, big jumpers, hot chocolate will be back on the menu.
Pumpkin spice lattes and a kill count. Anyway, if you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at rankrottenpod@gmail.com. That's rankrottenpod@gmail.com.
We are always looking for terrible movie recommendations and we'd love to hear any feedback you've got. So if you don't want to email us, you can reach us on socials. That's Instagram @rankrottenpod and it's @rankrottenpod on Threads as well.
Absolutely, and you can just message us to say hiya or message us to say I watched I watched Argyle and I thought it was pants, or I watched Argyle and I loved it. I don't know, Ken. Write to us about the movies we've talked about already and tell us what you think, or write to us about films that you think are rotten. Write to us about films that you think should be rotten. Write to us about whatever you want. Write to us about what you did on your holiday.
Yeah. We'd
you
love
want-
to hear that little story.
If you want to tell us a wee story about what you did on holiday, you can. To be fair, I actually kind of like looking at holiday pictures. Like when my pals put them up, I'm like, oh cool, look at the cool holiday they had. I love that.
Oh yeah, I love that
It's
too.
one of my favourite things about social media, and it was kind of supposed to be fun.
Yeah, definitely. This is our wee hobby,
Mm-hmm.
and we are all part of the Wee Guy Club.
We Get Club!
So we would appreciate it if you like the podcast, if you're able to give us a little cheeky 5-star rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to us. And if you feel up to it, you can give us a review there and tell us what you like.
Yeah, I think Apple Podcasts lets you do reviews, Spotify lets you rate. There's loads of apps I've lost track, I didn't even know. Some of them are listed on Acast when I go on there and I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, I know. So if you feel like sharing us with other people, we would greatly appreciate it.
We're off on a wee break now, and if you do want to know when we're coming back, keep an eye on our Instagram. We'll be updating there.
Right, time to get the kettle on.
And put our feet up.
Bye.
Bye.